SG here, back again with another daily Marvel Snap live stream. Today we're starting a little bit late, courtesy of Kitty Pryde disconnecting me from the game for a solid 45 minutes before I was able to reconnect again. That is the second time it happened today. If you noticed, if you watched today's YouTube release already, you know that I got disconnected at the end of that one. Once I got back in, I played a total of 2 games and got hit with the same issue once again. And so hopefully we don't run into any Kitty Prydes, because if we get disconnected, I'll have to play on my alternate account or something. But that is why we are a little bit late today. And then Hink and Boosty, welcome in. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day so far. Been looking forward to this all day. Benjamin, thank you for jumping in and joining us. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Hopefully we don't see any Kitty Pryde. That's what we're hoping for. Is no Kitty Pryde. And then Hurt Smith, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good day. Okay, so they have the onto it. Gets rid of our Cosmo. Super villain, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good day as well. I told everyone else I can't stop you now. And then Nick, you said, hey, I just hit infinite. That's huge, Nick. What deck were you running? And then Tyler, rest in peace, Kitty, but at least they'll iron out the bugs. Hopefully. I can't believe that some like a disconnect issue like that impacts it that largely. I could make it into the game. Oof, yeah. Could you imagine if Kitty Pryde was released to the entire player base, like most cards are in other card games? I think it would have been awful. I can't even imagine had that happened. And then Jay Siggs, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, my friend. You said seems to be a lot of Death Wave going around today. I wonder why that could be. I don't know. I don't know who could have featured a Death Wave deck. They don't need to be rewarded, I don't think. So we could do 0 into Red Skull. We could do 0 this turn into Red Skull next turn, but I don't know that we do. We might just do. Oh wait, we won't be able to, because Dream Dimension is going to make it where we can't play that 5 cost. Did they disable her? No, not that I've seen. I don't think they have. Yeah, so I know that they're working on the bug with Beast, but... And then Resha, hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much, Resha. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us. But I think we're going to play the 0. Since we won't be able to do Professor X next turn, I don't think there's any reason to hold it. Oh, when did they? How long ago did they disable her? Because I know Jeff was running it just a couple minutes ago. Was it announced on the Discord? I'm glad I wasn't planning on running Kitty Pryde today. 1 minute ago. Wow. So very recently. I was with how many times I get hit with it. With how many times I got hit with the disconnect error, I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I see it. They tweeted, we've temporarily disabled Kitty Pryde while we resolve an issue that sometimes results in a game crash when playing against Kitty Pryde. Players cannot queue into matches with Kitty Pryde in their deck, and we've removed her from the random card generation abilities. Wow. We're sorry for this inconvenience, and we'll compensate all players at a future date. Wow. Well, I'm glad that they changed it. Oh wait, with Wave we can actually play whatever we want this time. And then cool, it looks like you got your 2,000, and so we will let you choose the avatar after this. Oh wow, so Null is big. Oh my gosh, I stalled out the whole game. We could have locked the left lane. We could have done so many things. Oh no. Yeah, the Marvel Snap Twitter is she crashing games? Yeah, super villain. So I was gonna do a video on it if they didn't disable it, just because like warning other people that might run into it. So there's a couple of scenarios. I think one of them was linked to Daredevil. If you had Daredevil on the board and your opponent was playing Kitty Pryde, it would disconnect you from the game, but it keeps that game state alive. And I'm pretty sure it's about 45 minutes where they create each game state before it can before it forcibly is closed out. And so you're stuck in unable to reconnect for 45 minutes. And then Peculiar, thank you so much for the Amazon Prime. That's the first one for the day. So I very much appreciate the support. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. And then Cool, you said Mojo time? All right, we'll switch back over to the Mojo. Any kitty decks? No. And then Jackie, it shows that you posted a link, but I'm not familiar with that one, so I'm not going to push it back through. To be fair, she's the first card that gives you more agency about actively returning to hand. Yeah, no, I can understand the bugs, but it's but it's a rough one. It's a rough one to have made it into the game. Daredevil seems to cause a lot of issues like that. Yeah, him and Kang, like that ability to see the turn and then it come back is just it can be rough. And then Flubster, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. I'm really glad we weren't planning on playing Kitty Pryde. I was on anti-Kitty Pryde until the disconnect bugs were fixed. So I'm glad that they did. I didn't know if they were going to fully disable it or if maybe they were just hoping it was a small enough scale that it didn't necessarily matter. But I am glad they decided to go ahead and just fix it. And then Flubster, you said my day's been good? Good, I'm glad. And then Supervillain, you hit 70? That's huge. I'm changing the title to RIP Kitty. I got to Infinite yesterday with Binks's Dark Dino list. And then made the final push with Lockjaw Casino Dracula. Yeah, the Hawk list that he was using, I'm not actually familiar with what it looks like. I do have a Hawk Dino deck that just I think is like a fairly standard one. And I'm curious if it's the same one that Binks was running. So it runs. Does it run Korg, Zabu, potentially Maria Hill? That one seems like a flex spot. But Sentinel, Mystique, Agent Coulson, Hawk, Shang-Chi, Rockslide, White Queen, Devil Dino, and then Dr. Doom. Is that Pixel Attuma? It is Pixel Attuma. We are we are the yeah, we're the Pixel Attuma crew. I'm gonna do both in the left lane. And then Jock, you said, what's up, TLSG? You know what? A couple of your decks made me fly from 40 to Infinite in 1 week. That's huge, Jock. I'm glad that they were working for you. And then Sylvie, you said, hey, bro, how can I know when my card will reveal first? So the easiest way is to look at the names in the top. So like there's a way that you can tell who has priority. So it's whoever's winning the most lanes or whoever's winning the tiebreaker lanes by more. But the easiest way is to just look at, if you have the highlighted border, you reveal first. How is meta feels without playing Shang-Chi? In this one, since we have like the lockdown components, we have the Cosmo, it doesn't feel terrible. But if we didn't have like a Professor X or something to really restrict the opponent, it would feel pretty bad. I don't know that we have a great move here. We have the Zero. I mean, we could Wasp to get the Jessica Jones out on the board. And then Flash, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Yeah, so this is similar to Ocean's list, except for his leaned on like Storm, Claw, and Titania. But this is another one that's been floating around. I've had a little bit more success with this one, but I think they're both very similar in their cores. And then Jedi, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Yeah, it looks similar, but they're different. Like the approach is different at the same time. How's the... Oh, yeah, and then how's the meta feel? And you said I didn't do much today, though, and tomorrow the only thing I'm going to do is buy a new phone, and then the rest of the day, nice Flubster. Having that downtime is always really important. I think we retreat out of this one. I don't think we have I don't think we have a good winning play. Destroyer, we don't have the Cosmo to block it. Dazzler's just Dazzler. Why rest in peace, Kitty? They disabled her. They disabled her king. So she was causing disconnect issues for the opponent. And if it happened, the opponent was disconnected for about 40 to 45 minutes. What happened to Kitty? They disabled her. They disabled Kitty Pryde. She was causing some disconnect issues. And then the opponent was stuck in unable to reconnect game state for about 40 to 45 minutes at a time. And so they tweeted it on the Marvel Snap account. The Drunk Detective, you said, hey, TLSG, I made it to Infinite for the first time on Krakoa Day. Huge. Thank you for deck reviews. The Discula, the MODOK Dracula. The MODOK Dracula one is one that's really relatively straightforward to play, but it's also really powerful. Wait, they deleted they deleted her? They didn't delete her. She's still here. And I'll test it out. I haven't tried testing it out. They said that you're unable to queue into a game with Kitty Pryde in your deck, so I think it'll like disconnect you. Yeah. So temporarily disabled cards. Your deck has some cards we had to disable for now. Kitty Pryde, please remove them from your deck and to continue. Yeah. I was thinking, was Leech the problem or Quinjet was? For me, Quinjet was the enabler. So like a Leech, if it's just played naturally on 5, that's only 3 power. So it's not the worst. Where the issue was coming from was specifically with Thanos, Quinjet making the stones, so they're free rotation tools, plus the ramp component that's already built in and the time stone. It just made too many consistency factors that were too hard to overcome. I'm about to list a whole bunch of cards they should do that to. I don't know that Hawk deserves to be in that same state. The game that got me in Infinite, I won with Dazzlers thanks to District X gifting me her and Ultron. Wow. Yeah, whenever it gifts like that dynamic duo is huge. Cosmo, Lizard, Maximus? I don't think Lizard's so much of an issue. Like if it's a deck that's going wide, like if you're the opponent, you can play around the location and either fill it up to reduce that impact or just decide to play away from it. I don't think it's as polarizing as something like Shuri. And then Dan, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. General, welcome in. Just got back from my MRI. Went super fast, which was nice. I see. Cool. You put back on Mojo as well. Yeah. So cool had enough points, and they redeemed the Mojo choose your avatar. Kitty Pryde here today, gone tomorrow. Yep. One video with it. Dan, you said so far so good. What's your record against Jeff today? Saw you matched up to him earlier. So I've only matched up with him once today, and I got hit with, I got slapped with a 45-minute disconnect after. So if you saw it on stream, the reason I didn't play anything is because I got forcibly disconnected. I actually left it in my video for today. That was the capstone game because I wasn't able to do anything. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. We can just force them into having this lane capped out. And then maybe we do a destroyer mid, or we could always do a destroyer to the right. I think we're all right. Do you think Leech still deserves a nerf? I don't think so. I never thought that he was the issue. It was his enablers. Like his effect does feel bad. Like it's always very like a feel bad effect. But I don't think like if you're just playing him naturally on 5, it's such a low tempo play that oftentimes, even though it feels bad, your opponent can find a way to win. And then eggs for sale. Ending your subathon stream, right? Thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. For all of the egg people, do you have a name for your chat, eggs? For all of the people from Eggs's channel, hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I'm very glad, homies. Well, for all of the egg homies, I'm glad that you were able to jump in and join us today. The omelets, the chicks. See, there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. Eggs. They could be the omelet, the chicks, or just homies works as well. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Hopefully your subathon ended well, Eggs. I know that this is day 3 or day 4. Your commitment is astounding. Raids are broken? What do you mean raids are broken? Chill. You said I have Thor Destroyer in shop for 700. I want to buy a super rare, but it's so good. Yeah, the Thor Destroyer one I think is so solid. Oh, it didn't bring everyone for some reason? I mean, it brought 75. Well, I think maybe. It says it brought 75. Either way, maybe it brought the most important ones. We don't know for sure. Who cares about any Thor variant when Throg is coming? Throg is another solid one. They played Cosmo to the left. They could always look to do maybe a Shuri in the right lane. Or Shuri and then follow up with it with something else. I was left behind, Sag. Lucianity. I'm glad you were able to jump in and join us though. I appreciate the commitment, the follow through, even though you didn't get the extra from the raids, from the eggs raid. I appreciate you being here. So I think we go ahead and lock down the right lane with Professor X. We can then angle to either maybe skip on the last turn. We can figure out a way to bring it home from there.
All systems go.
You hoping to get a specific variant? Not necessarily. The Drunk Detective. I think there's several that look solid, but I don't have any particular one in mind. Anybody who came in the raid who is watching in a browser may need to refresh the browser a time or two to get their view to count as well. Oh wow, really? And so I guess it broke just as badly as Kitty Pryde did. And then Christy Gamala coming in with the 1v1 request. So after this one, we'll follow through with the 1v1. The last card they played was Red Skull. They could Taskmaster and a 1-cost. It looks like a Shuri deck that didn't hit their Shuri. I'm not sure Destroyer here even does it for us. It's going to copy the 14 power plus whatever else they play here. Maybe we do Destroyer in the left lane. That brings us up another 15. And with Cosmo there, it doesn't trigger. Brings us up to 29 with the Red Skull. So unless they play here, then we'll win this lane. I don't think they do. I think they stack both in the camp, though. Raids are broken in 3 different ways? That's wild. Another day, another daily dose of TLSG. Welcome in, Cruel Master. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Twitch's glitch? Almost it is. Kitty Pryde is. Kitty Pryde has been disabled. And then Christy Gamala, are you ready? So they disabled Kitty Pryde. And then Khan, you hit 90? That's huge. I know that you were saying that over to Eggs, but that's huge. So Kitty Pryde was creating a disconnect issue for certain players. And with the disconnect issue, if you were playing against Kitty Pryde and you had a couple of like conditions, so the one that I saw the most commonly was Daredevil. It disconnected you from the game as the person that was the opponent was playing Kitty Pryde towards you. it disconnected you from the game, but it kept the game state there, and so you were stuck in being disconnected for about 45 minutes before it finally cleared the game state. And so it happened to me twice today. I was trying to record clips and video games for my YouTube video, and I got hit with it twice. There goes my free Kitty Pride cubes. Oh no, Dan, were you a Kitty Pride abuser? Oof, that feels bad. I decided I was going to stop using it. And Kawacast, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Yep, it happened in Jeff's game. He hit me with I was gonna let it play through because it was a Shuri's Lab game and he had Kitty Pride on turn 1. It was just gonna be a massive Kitty Pride, and so I was gonna let it play through, and then I got hit with a disconnect for 45 minutes. Devs confirmed TLSG crashing games in 1v1. I mean, Atlas, I did do that to you a couple times yesterday, didn't I? Oof, feels bad. Maybe it was a tie. No. I don't think Jeff got disconnected. Jeff had 3 OPs that got hit with it. Yeah. Yep. There were a couple of situations or scenarios where it came up and it felt bad every single time. So it was better than losing. Yeah, I don't think Jeff didn't get hit with it because he was the one playing it. I, on the other hand, just got absolutely obliterated. So we could do Enchantress over here. That takes out the Patriot, but we're still losing in these two. So maybe it's more that we do Magneto to pull their Patriot over instead of going with the Enchantress to disable it. And then from there, we could do something like this. I don't know that it's enough to win, but I forgot to ask Christy if there was any rules for their 1v1. One of his opponents had Wong, Mystique in Onslaught Citadel, and then he DC'd. Oh, Atlas, that is awful. That's rough. That's a really rough way to go out. You have the perfect setup, and then just get hit with the 45-minute disconnect. At least I can play my perfectly working Kang. Yep. At least you can play the perfectly working Kang. And then Kalo, you said it's been all right so far. Twitch staff laid off this week, so been on that stream and ladder climb. Yeah. I know that there was a few of the Twitch staff being laid off, and so you've been grinding out some streams and some ladder climbing. Is that what you're saying? I unintentionally climbed from like 110 to 125 with a video that I showcased yesterday. Jeff got right back in. Yeah, that's I think where the biggest issue came from was the opponents were getting hit where they couldn't reconnect, and the other flip side of that coin was the opponent was able to connect right away. I wish I accidentally climbed. I wish I could unintentionally climb. And there's a Frodan, myself, and a couple others got the axe. Kawacast. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it somehow opened a door that's for the better somewhere along the lines. But I am sorry to hear that. But yeah, you guys saying I wish I could unintentionally or accidentally climb. Normally I don't. Normally I do not. In RVP, let me grab the. Are you looking for the Kitty Pride video that I covered, or why she's been disabled? Cool. You said cut from what? So Twitch had like 400 or more layoffs. And so a lot of people like lost their roles, lost their positioning. What happened to Kitty? Oh, yeah, I don't have a command for it, but I probably need to add one. So it was causing disconnects for the opponent. So if your opponent played Kitty Pride, then you hit a couple of like really particular certain conditions, it was causing the game to crash and you couldn't reconnect. So I personally got hit with it twice today. Once I was running Daredevil, and then another time I think I got hit with think it was Sakar or Grand Central, one of the two. One of the two I got hit with, and then I was stuck for 45 minutes in like an endless state where I couldn't reconnect to the game. Probably why raids are having issues. They fired the person who knew how to make them work. It might be, Rose. It might be. So no one in the game has a Kitty Pride. They have it, you just can't queue in. You can't queue into games with it. Did he lose being an affiliate? I know that Twitch is laying a lot of people off. So I don't think it affected like partners or affiliates. I think it's just like the paid staff. I got laid off a couple of days ago. I'm sorry to hear that as well, Monkey. I know that post pandemic, there's been a lot of like that going around. It seems like every couple of days you hear another story of like a different layoff or something similar happening. And so hopefully it opens a door to something better along the lines. I'm trying to decide where I want to play. I want to stack Lizard and Enchantress, but I was trying to figure out where I wanted to play the other two. And then Kawa, you said 15% of our company got laid off. Lots of staff are going to need to fill in for other roles. Yeah, I would imagine, sir, there's some. To anyone out there feeling it, yeah, I would imagine there's some of those things going around, and it's gonna be a readjustment period. Like people are gonna the remaining people are gonna have to take on a bigger workload, which is always tough as well. I've seen more Kitty Pride since release than I've seen Shadow King and Shanna since their release. To be fair, Derek, Shadow King is awful. Shadow King it's so much more expensive, and so it's really, really hard to use. So it doesn't surprise me that you haven't seen much Shadow King. Shanna's easier to use, but she's also not quite as flexible. No one wants to admit they have Shadow King. Unfortunately, I paid 6,000 tokens for Shadow King, and it was so, and normally I make a video, and it was so bad I didn't even make a showcase video because it was just I couldn't even steal a win away. I tried to make Shanna work. Yeah, she can work in certain situations, but most of the time it's just a little bit lackluster. It's a little bit too much RNG. I have him and proudly play him. A refined beast. Do you have Shadow King? Do you get much value from Shadow King? Because I personally, it always feels like I could have something else that would do better. So I could either do Shang-Chi and it actually clears the power, or I could do Valkyrie or Enchantress, and it always seems like it just is a little bit better. I'm curious what you run him in that he does well. Does Shadow King only work well for like Patriot decks? Mr. Negative sometimes. So like if they have an inverted Iron Man, you can set it back to 0. Thor, if it's after the Mjolnir, so if they like really abuse Thor and Mjolnir, you can use it after that fact. What else? Sunspot, if he continues to gain armor. Kitty Pride, you could use it to reset that one. But if they're big enough, then Shang-Chi's just gonna be able to hit it as well. I have Shadow King, and then no, he's useless. Yeah, a king. Oh, you said a king? No, he's useless. Yeah, he's tough. And then the drunk detective, he said, "Mom, can we have Valkyrie?" The mom says, "We have Valkyrie at home." The Valkyrie at home is very clearly Shadow King. So they hit their Mr. Negative. I think maybe we can always Magneto their Mr. Negative, their Patriot, maybe their Mystique over on the last turn. We've only not seen one of Christie's cards, and I assume that it's probably Iron Man. either this or we do Killmonger, but I think this is going to be a bit safer. If Shadow King was a 3/3, I think at 4 he is a little bit too costly. I agree though. I don't know if, or at 4, yeah, I don't know if 3 like is that right middle ground. I don't know how you fix him, where it doesn't feel like he's just kind of a bad version of other cards we already have. I clapped a Galactus with him. You can do that, but if it happened that they had Null and then all of a sudden you're not able to do that one either. We do pull the Patriot. I don't know if that's enough for us to win or not. I don't think so. But at least we got their Patriot that's going to take away some of their big power. Oh yeah, let's see. I saw Jeff do this when I was hanging out in his chat. It was AdCom. Was it something like this? I'm gonna try it. It may look awful, but I'm gonna try it. That work? Nah, maybe not. I'm just gonna add it to Nightbot real fast because I do think that's gonna be one that's a reoccurring request. So we're gonna switch over to Nightbot real fast, and I'm gonna add in the custom command. R.I.P. Kitty. She'll be back soon. Okay, it's in there now. Oh, it would be AdCom, all one word. Gotcha. I didn't know that it was there, and then I saw Jeff do it, and I was working on a couple things in the background, and so I saw it. No, Atlas, I guess but by the time you typed exclamation point Kitty, I had already added to the Nightbot, so I manually did it. Funny how Kitty Pryde will always work with Wave. Yeah, I agree. It's one of those weird interactions that just feels like it's kind of intuitive to what you would think. Fastest fingers in the West. I copy and pasted it. So I didn't have that fast of fingers. And then Rose. Next time I'll use the all one word AdCom. Nice. Thank you. I haven't done the commands in the MTG bot directly. I just used Nightbot for them so far. But it'd be a little bit easier if I could just do the command as needed. Can anyone explain to me why Sauron is S5? Sauron should be S4 now. I think with the last patch, he got bumped down to Series 4. Oh. But why did they start? Why did he start as S5? Is that what you're asking? Other than all cards starting as S5, I don't think there's a good answer. I wonder how he got his fingers that fast. So I actually, not that it has to do with fast fingers, but more so typing. There's a couple of reasons I think I became a quick typist. So whenever I was in middle school, for whatever reason, I really more so than enjoying the extra time in computer lab that you got after finishing everything. I enjoyed just the typing program and seeing how quickly I could go, that I actually bought the typing program that we used to do at home. I don't know why, but I did. And then from there, I got further practice from playing old school. It was RuneScape at the time, but old school RuneScape. And I was typing in Falador Park, trying to sell stuff before they had the Grand Exchange. And so to sell something, you had to do the command or the type. You had to type it over and over and over again. Which is how I got good at typing. Yep, the World 2 Falador trading. Yep. So I'm not proud of it, savvy. But there was one time I got scammed for my Guthan spear. And it was when Guthan's was I think it was 9 mil. And for whatever reason, the spear was the piece that cost everything. and I got scammed for it. I got traded a leaf bladed spear, and so then I turned around and scammed somebody else. I felt so bad, but I was also out 9 mil, and that was like everything I had. Is Zabu worth 3,000? Yeah. Yeah, it's the only time I scammed anybody on the game, and I felt so bad about it, but I was so mad that somebody got away with scamming me. Getting scammed on RuneScape is a rite of passage. Yeah, that and being lured into the wild. It was a wild time. Like the old days of RuneScape were just absolutely wild. That lame scammer guy. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, a little bit. And then is Zabu worth 3,000? It depends. So Zabu really helps enable a couple of archetypes. So Zabu's really good in like a Sarah control that runs Hawk. And then if you plan to use Hawk at all, it pretty much is like a tandem with Zabu. So I would say if you like that TLSG scam somebody, you seem too nice. Yeah, I felt bad about it. I felt real bad about it. Yeah, people change. No, I was nice, but I was so frustrated because it was like my entire bank. I was working on trying to like merchant, so I was buying and reselling the Guthan sets over and over to try and gain a little bit of money, and then all of a sudden I got scammed that hard, and so I was a little bit frustrated, and I felt so bad about it that I never even did it again. And so Zabu seems good if you like using like Hawk, if you like using a couple of those other like enabler builds, so like the Mr. Negative. He's not as polarizing as he used to be, but he's still very effective. The lovely, sincere gentleman. Yeah, I think I'll unpin Thanos and get Zabu. Yeah. Yeah, I think if you want to play Hawk decks, like Zabu almost feels like a requirement for those. And there's a Sarah control list that does use Hawk right now that's really, really like strong. And so the only issue with us losing Kiln is they do have the White Tiger that they can play. And then Barrow, you said, what does TLSG stand for? So there's a couple of like stories behind like what TLSG actually stands for. Sorry, I got distracted by Rose's chat about the game where your avatar would rock climb as you typed. Yeah, like I got to the point where I was typing like a little bit over 100 words per minute, and I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, but I did. But there's a lot of like stories behind what does TLSG stand for, and a lot of them are wrong, but there is some truth to some of them. So the real reason or the real meaning behind TLSG is when Marvel Snap came out. Trying to lick some gum? Is that TLSG? The legendary Snap God? I mean, you guys are close. Too Loving Solo Gamer. There's a lot of really close ones here. With you revealing first, I think Magneto is better mid. To pull the debris and Mr. Negative. That might, yeah. You're right. It may have been better to just do the Magneto mid. I feel like you have to explain this every stream. Yeah, it's one of those things that it has a lot of early meaning, and so there. I don't know if you may have ever Googled TLSG. So there's this like technology, and I want to simplify it as easily as possible. But it's this technology for accelerating growth. And so it's a software that's provided to like businesses. And whenever I was younger, me and a group of my friends wanted to create something or some kind of protocol that was safe for. And then Hipster or Hipmeister, thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. And so we wanted to design something that was safe. That as the internet was being developed, we wanted like our protocol to be able to be like safe and not have to worry about being like hit with viruses or attacked or anything like that. And so we worked for developing a protocol to like protect against that. So it's this own network of sorts that's only for like business level type endeavors. And so that's where the TLSG comes from. And hold on, but Hipster, I hope you had a fantastic stream, by the way. Were you, and I don't have a good story today, guys. I'm so sorry. I can't ad-lib it today. It really stands for that live stream guy. That live stream guy was like 6 to 8 years ago. I like to create an air of mystery behind the name, and I can't do it today. It's not coming to me like it should. But like 6 to 8 years ago, I had a Twitch account that was that live stream guy. I thought it would be funny if somebody found it, discovered it, and they were telling their friends, and it was, hey, have you seen that live stream guy? And their answer would be, which one? I only streamed on it for about 3 weeks. In that 3 weeks, chat shortened it to TLSG, and I don't know why I stuck with the acronym. So after I stopped streaming, I just continued to carry over TLSG to just about everything that I used. But I do have a couple of commands because I normally make up stories, and I guess I'm just tired. I couldn't ad-lib one today. But we have exclamation point TLSG 1 through 4 of a couple of different versions of different stories that I told. But you said it's been great. We did a Yellow Jacket Wasp shenanigans. Were you, for the Yellow Jacket Wasp, were you running, was it the Wong, Shuri, Odin, like trying to throw down like a huge Wasp on the last turn, or a huge Yellow Jacket? First Kitty breaks the game. Now we can see she also broke TLSG. I think that late live stream may have been what broke me. Since I'm in, oh wait, you're in bot MMR? I'm now playing, you're playing Hawk Lockjaw? Is that a thing? Does it do well? Kitty being intended to work with Beast, does it mean you can for free gain +2 every turn? Yep. That is exactly what it means, RVP. And so I think she's going to do very, very well with the upcoming release. Ooh, which one's going to be better? I think she's going to be really good with the upcoming release of Hitmonkey. If we're going to do that, we might as well do that instead. And then Range, you said, do you think Black Bolt is good? Been trying to stature Black Bolt. I don't think Black Bolt by himself is good. I think he's kind of like Rockslide, but just a little bit worse than Rockslide. You really need something else to get extra value from it. And so, to get that extra value from it, Black Bolt is good along with stature, but I don't think it just solo or by itself it holds it down. How long are you going to stream? For another like 2.5 hours, unless I somehow just crash, because I don't know. I'm struggling today. I'm on the struggle bus. We're doing decently in game, but otherwise we're having a hard time. And so I'm going to be streaming for, right now it's 1:45, another maybe 2.5 hours or so. Christy Gamala, thank you for the games, by the way. I got very lucky that my deck had an Enchantress in it. Without knowing, oh wait, what am I doing? So, somebody could have jumped in and challenged me. I didn't mean to. Can you play with Morph? Um, what deck do you want Morph to go in, Blamingo? Do you have one? The deck that you were running? Yeah. I think there were a lot of cool pieces to it, like the Patriot Mr. Negative. And I think it's definitely unique. Like whenever you hit your Mr. Negative, you can get some pretty high rolls. But no, I think it was one that it didn't necessarily, like, without the Enchantress, I think it would have been a much different story. Can you make a deck with Morph? I can take a look at it. I'll be on the Sandman train for Hitmonkey season. So I'm actually thinking that Hitmonkey or Sandman doesn't directly counter Hitmonkey as much as we might think. So I know a lot of people are leaning towards the Sandman. And if you're going with like a Sarah version of Hitmonkey, then yeah, it definitely counters it. What I'm going to be how I'm going to be building Hitmonkey is much more of a mid-range, so that you can, if you identify that Sandman is coming down, you can flood your cards before the Sandman, and then just get the value that way. So I don't know that Sandman is just going to completely derail it either. I'm kind of afraid of Hitmonkey meta. Yeah, Hitmonkey meta is going to be, I think Hitmonkey meta is going to be wild. I think between that and Kitty Pryde, there's going to be Killmonger in almost every list. Yeah, and Sandman, since it can't be played before 4, you could always just do Mysterio and Hitmonkey, and that's going to be 4 from the Mysterio and 6 on the Hitmonkey, or an extra 6 on the Hitmonkey from the 3 cards played from Mysterio. So it looks like a Cerebro 2. Ooh, if they had Cerebro in their opening hand, they have an extra Cerebro now, which is very scary. Doom even more prevalent next season? Might be, yeah. Yeah, it's even more if you have Bast on curve as well, Dan. And so, like, there's a couple of ways that you can do a really scary, explosive mid-range turn, or you can save it for the last turn if you don't think your opponent's running. If you don't think they're running the... if you don't think that they're running the Sandman. So with Storm in the right lane, I think they probably, I don't know, they could play... They could play Brood to the left, and then any Cerebro that they get onto the board is troublesome. They can move one card out of mid in their Nightcrawler. Let's do it this way, and we'll hope for the best. Ooh, they do split their power. I guess if it's Brood, it's only the 1. Yeah, okay. So Mr. Sinister isn't able to duplicate. The 1 Cerebro on the right as well is a little bit scary. Yep, I think Wave is probably going to be more prevalent than Sandman at countering either the mid-range burst from Hitmonkey or the in-game burst as well. And so I think like the Wave, She-Hulk, Doom style stuff might be a little bit more effective. How are you feeling about Black Knight? I actually don't know what Black Knight's mind abilities is. Make Morph meta. We can look at Morph. We can look at Morph after this. So do we go with a Cosmo? If they lean into a Mystique, then Cosmo would help us win here. If they have the blue Marvel, then it doesn't. I guess if they move Nightcrawler as well, it doesn't. All of our stuff is really, really low. So we would have to hope that... I guess even if they move Nightcrawler over, we just lost, yeah. Oh, no, they can't play Blue Marvel, you're right. We can't play to the right because it's flooded. So even if we blocked a Mystique, just moving Nightcrawler is enough to swing that location for them. No, we lost. Blamingo, we lost. They move this over and it brings them up to 12. We've also played in Sandman ramp decks. Yeah, that's true. It's also played in Sandman ramp decks. So maybe you can... Ooh, well, that's a line I hadn't thought about, is if you happen to have a Wave on 3, you restrict them from that play on turn 4. You can Sandman on 4. But it's still tough. Because then you have to have Wave or you have to have Sandman. So it's doing a lot of things to try and block the Hitmonkey. Like, I think it'll block it sometimes, but I don't know that it'll be as consistent. Kind of like trying to Sandman the Thanos meta. Like, sometimes it works, but a lot of times it just doesn't get there fast enough. I know it's probably difficult, but is there any card with which I can replace Attuma? In this control type shell, we have a couple other high base power 4 costs. I don't necessarily like Typhoid Mary, though, because it's a little bit too enticing to play Typhoid Mary without the 0 rescue. Yeah, I guess that's probably a good one, J-Sigs. Rescue, because it comes up to 9 if you play in it following up on that turn that it's played. Namor could, but a lot of the flexibility, you want to be able to potentially follow up the Attuma with the Professor X. And then Shuri. Yeah, I mean, Shuri fits in everything, but in this one, I don't think it's particularly that effective. I mean, it does run the Red Skull, but if you're gonna do the Shuri and Red Skull, you might as well do the old reliable Shuri, Red Skull, Cosmo armor, like the whole Shuri package with the Taskmaster and She-Hulk, because that's going to be more effective every single time. And we do get Daredevil on the board here, so if we happen to top deck into Professor X by turn 5, we can get a guaranteed lockdown. We're also going to be able to play our Attuma without any issues. It's going to be zeroed out. Obviously, Crystal, the drunk detective. I mean, you could throw in Crystal. It wouldn't be good. No Shuri? I mean, Shuri's just one of those cards. It's kind of like that. It's good, and everybody knows it's good, but I just don't play it because it's too good. It's better than it should be. Too limiting for Shuri? In this list, yeah. Because then you can't really Professor X on 5 very well. Ixal Attuma. Yeah. It's the only variant that we have for him. And it's something. It is a variant for sure. I feel like you only need 3 to 4 cards tops for Shuri. Yeah. Yep, you don't really need much. They have initiative, so they'll flip first. And they're going to pull their Wasp back out. But they're going to be kind of locked to whatever they have here. Our Arrow, even if this is their last card, it won't pull before it flips, and so then it's kind of useless there as well. I don't think Red Skull in the left lane is necessarily what we want to play either. I think maybe we're going to take the hit from the Vibranium Mines. We'll play Red Skull over there, and then we have some flexibility or agency in what we do on the last turn. Better than Pixel Orca? The Pixel Orca is atrocious. It's not great. And then Tyro, you said hi, hit infinite for the first time from rank 40. Nice. Congratulations, by the way. I always ask this of everyone that says that in the chat. What deck were you running where you were able to hit it? And then Castle, thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you had a great stream, and I'm glad to have you guys here. But Tyro, if you don't mind, what deck were you running? And if you were running Shuri, don't feel ashamed. Some people say they feel bad that they were running Shuri, but it wouldn't be so prevalent in the meta if it wasn't that good. And then the drunk, he said, I switch decks every 5 games or so. Why I'm following you? Oh, that's why I'm following your channel. So Shuri is the exact opposite of what I want to play with this. Yeah. Yep. So I like to be versed in the different decks so that if something new pops up in the meta, we can more easily identify it. Feel ashamed of the Shuri? Nah, like it's kind of like Thanos. Like if it wasn't, if it wasn't as strong as it is, then like people wouldn't play it. And so like it just feels bad because it's so common. But I wouldn't feel bad about it. Not quite. We almost get there, but not quite. Most of the time I played Sarah decks. Sarah decks are ones that it's, for like the last 6 or 7 seasons, it's one that's never been just like so strong that it makes people frustrated, but it's been one, and there's a lot of different versions or ways to play it. It's been one that's always been there and has been able to compete decently. Like it shifts depending on what the meta is, but it's always decently viable. Speaking of Sarah, I switched over to a Sarah Hawk list. Kitty getting axe is great for memes though. Oh, like for people that are making memes. Yeah, I can only imagine what people are gonna come up with. Been so fun already. Went 15-4 with Molt control version. Why rest in peace, Kitty? So they disabled her, Primal. So exclamation point. Kitty's like a brief rundown, but it was causing connection issues. Every time I played Sarah, I got waved on 5. Getting waved on 5 isn't the worst thing that could happen. Getting waved on 5 after you have Sarah, at least you can do 2 cards still. And so it's not quite as much as what most of your opponents might be able to do if they're running wave, but you still have a chance to outpace it. I already made an Exodia meme with her. I could see that, Atlas. You have Hawk pinned, and you're 200 tokens away. Looking forward to the deck. Yeah, so I think this is one of the versions that's pretty strong. I know another one cuts Arrow and runs Enchantress, just as an additional 4-cost drop, and I think it's decently viable. I like the Arrow for like Shuri matches. So if you anticipate that they're going to drop a card behind a Cosmo, you can try to Arrow pull it out. And speaking of wave, it's a common border never upgraded wave. Do we think they're running Galactus, or do we think they're running like Sandman or something else? And then, ooh, you said hello, found you from your YouTube channel. Much love, my friend. Thank you so much, ooh. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. I'm glad that you found the YouTube channel, and then I'm glad from there you found the stream. Hopefully you're having a great one. Yeah, it's either Doom or Galactus, and you never know which one where it's gonna fall. And then Souri, and thank you so much for the follow, PBS, Random Dude, H Adam, New Mutants, Rose, Slurps. Thank you all for the follows, by the way. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. And then Souri, welcome in. I'm glad that you found the stream, and hopefully you're enjoying it. Blaming, you said for your deck you can try Thanos with Mr. Negative. Yeah, Thanos is another card that I stopped brewing around with. Like it's probably solid. It's probably strong. It's just Thanos was so commonly ran for so long that I don't want to accidentally find something that makes it incredibly prevalent again. I'll let him rest for a little while. I have heard a couple of things with like either a destroy Thanos, or I did see some people running Mr. Negative Thanos as well. I'm not touching that bundle. Last time they had a variant one, I got Korg Pixel. Yeah, and this time it's for not for gold, but for real money, right? I'm not touching it either. I think we're going to do the singular Zabu. Next turn we can do double Rock Slide. You got the Kim Colleen from the mystery bundle. That's huge. Poor Kitty already getting removed. Yeah, she got absolutely dunked on. Like she didn't last very long. Wait, you got the Uatu pixel? Oof. Sorry. Till she really just said sometimes dead is better. I mean, whoa. Why did they lean and go so hard on the Doctor Doom so early? That's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of commitment to that round already. Big Doom fan. I mean, it's the golden border. I've upgraded Doom quite a few times, but to play it on turn 4 seems risky. Patriot? It could be a double Patriot, yeah. I mean, but with the Zero and Lizard, I think it's more so like just an Electro ramp. Oh, a Sandman. Oh no, Negasonic. Oh no. Well.
All systems go.
It keeps them fully capped in the right lane though, which I think is an advantage for us. So going into the last turn. Yeah, he has one space, and he reveals first, so even whenever we drop our Killmonger, it's not going to give them that extra slot. So it's just going to be whatever they play here. Is this enough? Maybe a double Shang-Chi. Double Arrow. And then we make sure that their Negasonic gets destroyed with our Killmonger. I guess we could do this. Wait. We destroy the Negasonic. We do Shang-Chi and then Arrow. It's going to go here, 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 here. We have one more space. So Killmonger should be safe to play. As long as we do Sentinel first. That way we'll be... well, I guess we clear up the space from Nova. Yeah. I showed Grey Border Ink Beyonder Doom, and everyone said I can't upgrade him, so now I have to buy the Art Germ Doom as well. That won't copy Arrow? Why not? Negasonic's going to blow up our second card. Savvy said, never mind. Yeah, I bet they forgot the Novas as well. But as far as copying it, it didn't have to. We didn't necessarily need the Novas gone. The Negasonic was able to clear our extra space. Oh, I started typing it before you swapped. Oh, okay, I got you, Savvy. I got you. That makes sense. That's why they call him the little sneaky guy. All right, so Platypus, you use the channel point redemption for choose my avatar. We have a short list. I'm sorry I don't have more to choose from. But if you see one that catches your eye, let me know. And then it's Tassar, Uatu in honor of the pixel. We're going back to the old Uatu. Always watching. It has been a while since we threw Uatu back on. Always watching. And you said pretty late start to the stream. Unfortunately, I need to sleep. Wish me luck. I have a job interview tomorrow. Bro, by the way, it's Tazar. By the way, congratulations. Hopefully the job interview goes well. The reason I started stream so late was I got smashed with 2 Kitty Pride bugs back to back, so I was disconnected for an hour and a half. So I had to start stream incredibly late. Dad, you said I'm almost back to 10k points? That sounds like it's a perfect time to do some gambling. Mr. Carrier, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Did Jeff crash your game? Yes, he sure did. He sure did. So I was disconnected for 45 minutes whenever that happened. Always watching, Wazowski. Always watching. Yeah, so I was recording. So if you happen to look at my most recent YouTube video, the last match in that video was against Jeff, and I got just smacked. I stayed in because I thought it was going to be fun to see just the massive Kitty Pride from Shuri's lab, and then I got hit with a 45-minute disconnect. It was brutal. What's a good replacement for Polaris? And I'll take off the Watu. Replacement for Polaris is, I'd say, another, like, you want to keep the curve relatively low, so another high impact, low cost card. For me, the reason Polaris is here is it can really sneakily pull like an armor out of a particular lane. It can pull a Sunspot out of a lane. You could do Maximus, but you lose a little bit of that. So you're getting more raw value, but you're losing a little bit of the tech along with it. And so I think Maximus would be a fine replacement. The other content creators sabotaging each other through the game, and he didn't mean to. I don't think he knew it was sending disconnects for 45 minutes. I was just staying in the game because it was going to be like an 80 power Kitty Pride, so I was like, this is going to be really cool. I want to see this, and then I was disconnected forever. It happens. And then Astrid, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Yeah, it's good versus Galactus as well. So it's good at like dispositioning their card. You can pull an armor out of a lane so that you can then Shang-Chi their big card. You could force them into cap out locations. Polaris, the tech with Polaris is really big. You lose a little bit of your power for it, but it can be replaced. It's just not. This looks like Binks's Hawk deck, right? The Hawk Dino. So if they have 7 cards in hand, this is a little bit bigger than I would like for it to be. To play this turn, I think we're gonna wait. We can always do Hawk and Shang-Chi on the last turn. Binks' sake. No, of course he had no idea. I think he's as amused as anyone that it happened. Yeah. No, I don't. He doesn't rub me as one that would figure out like an infinite loop or something like negative and then abuse it. So we do have the Shang-Chi now. They did grab initiative as well. So our Shang-Chi should be able to take them out in Necrotia. And I think, depending on where they play their Hawk, ours is bigger than theirs. I think we're going to play for the left lane. Oh, like the Japanese kind? My bad. I thought my bad. Why are vanilla cards America? Wait. If vanilla cards are America, does that mean squirrels and rocks are American? Yeah, we were comparing. We were comparing hawk size. Silence. She said I got Dan Hip Korg yesterday. Nice. The Dan Hip Korg does look pretty solid. Korg has a couple of really good ones that I'm a fan of. I don't have the Dan Hip Korg, but I do have a few of the other ones that are pretty decent. I have the Chibi one. Actually, I think that's the only other one I have. I have the Chibi one. We've split a Chibi Korg quite a few times. We should be close to like a black and white or a gold background. I have Dan Hip Collector in the shop. There's been a few of the ones in the shop that have been really tempting me, because I usually try not to spend too much gold on them. But there's been a few that are like either new releases or like cards that I play frequently that look really sleek and just make me want to go ahead and spend my gold. The best variant in the game, the Chibi Korg. The Chibi Korg is solid. You split Sunspot 16 times now and no inked. I think I'm probably close to 12 with no ink. I did get a gold background one, but I think I'm pretty close to 12 without getting the black and white for that version. I'll never buy a variant. I take them like bingo. If I get lucky, nice. Otherwise, don't care. Yeah, there's a couple. The only one I've bought for gold was a Wong variant because I make so many Wong jokes that it felt a little. It felt Wong not to spend my gold on it. So we could try to maybe we try sneaking in Hawk in this lane now. Boo. I mean, that's why I'm not in stand-up. We got our bad dad jokes, which is really kind of sad, but I found myself on bad dad joke TikTok as well. It's meant to be. What is your stream schedule? Normally I launch around noon on Central Standard Time, around noon, Monday through Friday, depending on what else comes up. So new card release day, so Tuesdays is typically earlier, so that I can stream and then get off whenever I need to edit the video. But if I ever have a work meeting that interrupts midday, then sometimes it's pushed a little bit later. I find you funny for what it's worth. I'm glad that I found a platform that appreciates the bad dad jokes. That is cool, don't worry. TLC, you're talking funny? What do you mean I'm talking funny, Atlas? Like, is it labored? Or is it just kind of like tired? Because I do feel extra tired today. I think exhausted is the term here. It might be. I don't know why either. Actually, I do know why. Think he was making a Wong joke? You're looking a bit tired. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit. I'm feeling a bit tired today. So there's a couple of reasons why I'm extra tired today. The late live stream 2 nights ago, I never like fully got a good amount of sleep to catch up for it. Oh, it was a Wong joke? Oh no. Oh my gosh, Atlas, that went over my head. Oh, I'm disappointed in myself, Atlas. There's nothing wrong with your joke. Just something wrong with my eyes trying to read it. Awful. I tried to warn you. I saw that and I still overlooked it. It still went over my head. And then the cage. You said I love me some dad jokes, me being one myself. I hope you're not calling yourself a joke. The man is tired. He tried to build a Shadow King deck that works all night. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. I got distracted. So, this weekend I'm going back to where I grew up. I guess more specifically where my dad grew up. We're gonna be spreading and burying his ashes. And so I'm trying to prep everything ahead of time for that, so that I have videos that are released over the weekend. And then my daughter also fell off the bed last night, and I was playing with her, and she likes to, whenever we're getting ready for bed, she likes to throw her stuff off the bed. So like the nighttime diaper that we get her, the pajamas. And I was acting like I was gonna catch it with my legs, and so she went to throw it around my legs, and then she toppled over. I felt really guilty, so I didn't sleep great last night, which I think is why I'm extra tired today. And then J-Sigs, I see that you requested a deck. Do you have a snap.fan link or something I can copy and paste? Yeah, I got a ridiculous one based on the earlier conversation. Ooh, J-Sigs, I'm excited. I'm scared and excited. And then Astrid, you said sorry for your loss. I appreciate it. It happened right after Thanksgiving. And so we're just now being able to like travel back home and like say our final goodbyes and things like that. So it'll be a tough weekend. So I'm trying to get everything like prepped beforehand. Is there a better way to do it? Oh, wait. Is there a better? So I didn't, J6, I actually didn't see anything come through. Did you paste it? Wait, what loss? My father passed away in late November. Also, your daughter must be as clumsy as mine. She's usually not, which is why I felt so bad, because it kind of came out of nowhere. She she was trying to throw it so that I couldn't catch it with my legs. I was going to catch it when she threw it off, and then instead of catching it, she went with it. If I ever can't make a stream, would you at least replay one? Yeah, so I'm looking to. So I connected my YouTube account to Twitch so that I can just do the direct export, and I'm looking to move them over into the video on demand channel as well. Yeah, it's definitely tough because it was sudden. It wasn't something that was we saw coming. So it was very, very sudden, and that's why I took a break from streaming for a while, just because it was tough. Like, he was a big supporter of the content and of the streams, and we would talk on the phone like every day about, like, did you see this today, or have you tried doing this, or maybe you do that instead. And so it was tough. I mean, like an old stream watch party. Maybe we do that at some point. The daughter story reminds me of the Hogfather from Discworld. Actually, I'm not familiar of the Hogfather. But J6, do you happen to have? And then Flip, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. My wife thinks my daughter has ADHD because apparently ADHD in women makes them accident prone. Really? My son has ADHD, and there's so much energy there. Like, he could run circles around me. The only time I've seen that child get tired is when we decided, you know what, we're going to give him an outlet for that energy, and we put him in soccer. Ran up and down the field one time and then laid on the ground. That code isn't going through. So let's see. If you copy and paste it into snap.fan, I'm going to run one while you wait. And so and you said, and so sorry for your loss. And then Severo said, I'm happy to hear that you had a great relationship. I appreciate it. And it's not something that I talk about a whole lot because it is still pretty recent, and so there's ups and downs with it. It's just finding our own way to cope. Ook, you said soccer? Okay, yeah. American soccer. The rest of the world, I guess it's football. But here we enrolled him in soccer. Us Europeans are coming to get you. Yeah, I know. He's Terry Pratchett's take on Santa. He gives a little girl a sword for Christmas. Oh. So how does that story end? How does that story end, Atlas? No, it's just soccer. The sport of flopping that infected the NBA. Yeah, NBA's gotten really, really bad about it. In Australia, we call it soccer. Yeah, it really depends on like what area of the world you're located in. But I know most of the world calls it football. Whenever something happens with your kids, like falling off the bed, remember when they grow up, they'll remember all the fun times and you playing with them. At least my daughter did, and mine are 21 and 19. Thank you, Blidgerin. I felt so guilty about it because I could have stopped it, but I was playing around. And they never remembered falling. See, that's good. Because we also she likes to ride around, and it's like a little wagon that we have blocks in. It came with blocks in it, but she dumped them out. Now she gets in the blocks or in the wagon, and I drift her around the house. So I think she'll hopefully remember the good times. And then J6, I was able to get that through snap.fan. Definitely looks wild. So they won mid. We could potentially get, maybe we could potentially draw into Polaris. That would pull their Lizard out. That would be our only out here, though. Either that or, I guess, a Nova and a Killmonger, which seems kind of, I guess we only have one more. Yeah, for the deck, it's Morphin time. It is absolutely Morphin time. We're going to retreat out of this one. We got absolutely, let's see what our draw would have been. Otherwise, we got absolutely beaten by the Spider-Man lock, yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks like a deck. I have 2 teen daughters. Every once in a while I get a glimpse of my wife's attitude coming from her, and I'm scared for what it looks like in a couple of years. And then feedback, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. But Atlas, you said. And so like the battle scars are just lessons learned. Yeah, we did run into something like that with, she likes to help cook. So we let her help cook with us. And she lightly touched the pan one day, which we were like right there with her, so we were able to get her hand off it real quick. But I'm sure she won't do it again. So it's one of those lessons, yeah. Yeah, so we let her cook. She likes to cook, so we let her help. But I think it's one of those that you only make that mistake once, and as long as it's not terrible, then you learn from it and you grow from it. Morbius ruined it? I don't even know the real quote. Oh, it's for its Morphin time? Is that what you're referring to, Atlas? I expect a video on this. So the list that we have, and actually I'll switch over to this. The list that we have recommended from J-Sigs, they use the channel points to recommend a deck for at least 3 games. Depending on how it goes, it may go 3, it may go longer. What was she cooking? She likes to cook. She likes to cook eggs. She does just about every step of it. She just needs a little bit of help with like stirring them and like cracking them open. So this was recommended by J-Sigs. We have the Lockjaw Casino. We have the Maria Hilda M'Baku. The Jubilee to go full RNG. And the Doc Ock plus the Heimdall, which is always kind of fun to hit. You can pull all their cards in and then move your stuff away. We're gonna see how it goes. We're going to the casino. If you smell what my daughter is cooking. But no, she was cooking eggs. Let's see. Rumiles. I'm not sure. I need to add Discord as an approved one. So Rumiles posted this link from Discord. And then Ginzo, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. So we're gonna shuffle so much randomness back into our deck. Screen change. Thank you. We're going to be shuffling so much randomness back into our deck. We have Maria Hill that's going to generate a card. We have Morph now. Before that, we were thinking Agent Coulson. So I think Morph. I think we go Mighty Morphin, Marvel Snap player. Wait, why? Why what? Why what? Cool. That's awful. Oh, I thought you were muted? No, I'm not muted. I am on the phone tree, so if a call comes through, thankfully it's been pretty dead today. 0 armor is whack. I'm guessing they use 0 and they were just needing a top deck into something. So maybe they have Sauron. Maybe they're just trying to get their hand smaller for when a Teal'c takes over. I don't know. There's a couple of reasons. I've done it a few times. Imagine there are people paying for Morph variant. Yeah, I bought this one. Why wouldn't we buy it? I wish Morph. I wish you could see Morph's variant. Like he gets no. It's not bad. That's not a bad Morph. It's a 15 power Morph. Yeah, no, my bad, Tensive. I was being sarcastic. I wish you could I wish you could see Morph's variants for longer, but I don't know how they would make it happen. Yep, the saxophone one is, and the One Punch Man. I think it's the One Punch Man. The One Punch Man one is solid as well. Yeah, we got 0 to 15 real quick, J-Hugs. In Sarah Control, it's so much fun to Enchantress your armor and Shang the big dude. Yeah, so I haven't done it since Zabu was like super prevalent. But whenever Zabu was prevalent, that was one of my favorite lines. Would it be cool if it merged the art? See, but then they would have to create all new cards. So I don't know that there's a good way to like showcase it. Because even if this one stayed as Morph, that would be really confusing from like a player standpoint. Of knowing like what card it hit, what powers where. Like I understand why it takes the form of this one. I don't think there's anything they can do to fix that one. Optimal play is Mordo and a Morph to optimize the 6 cost chances. I mean, we could run Maximus into it too. Let's. Which Morph variant should we use? We have a couple of them. We have the base, we have the Exiles, and then we have the Luca one, so the One Punch Man. The Luca, we'll upgrade it to Legendary. I do actually love. Yeah, I like this one. I think it looks solid. I'll change it back. I promise I won't forget this time. Yeah, it's the One Punch Man. Just once, I want to play him behind Cosmo, just so that he stays on the board. I was thinking more of how Ditto looks when it becomes another Pokemon. Wait. I've played a lot of Pokemon. I thought Ditto just turned into an exact copy of it. Does it not? Is it like slightly different colored or something? PDW said, have a good run, man. Enjoy your content as always. Cheers. Thank you so much, PDWA. Hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your day. In the anime, the face... Oh, okay. In the anime. So I watched the anime. I guess I don't remember Ditto in any of them. Well, I believe the nature stays. So you might have a worse version. Yeah, that's true. A worse version of the same guy. Which doesn't really become too much of an issue until you're like in competitive. Like until you're like competitively playing. Wait, Detective Pikachu showed it too? I watched that movie, and I'm sure I've watched one of the anime shows or episodes that he was in, but I just don't remember it. Maybe it's one of those things that I blocked out because it was so. Was it traumatizing? I feel like a lot of stuff in Detective Pikachu was like a dark take on it. Oh yeah, it was the cool looking lady with sunglasses. Ah, I gotcha. She had weird eyes. Okay, yeah, that rings a bit more of a bell. Ooh, we do get our Morph. They ran a Nightcrawler. We believe in the Morph. In Morph, we believe. The Luca variant is actually Morph's Exiles costume, despite there also being an Exiles variant. That's so strange. Oh, there's Cerebro too. Well, our Morph's not going to hit anything good. I guess I could hit a Blue Marvel. Ooh, Washington, D.C. is actively bad for them over here, though. I don't want to morph over here just in case. Well, I guess if they have Storm, they play it this turn. We're gonna let Morph roll. What is the synergy for the deck? RNG. So this was J-Sigs. J-Sigs recommended this list. Ooh, and it does hit the Blue Mar. Oh my gosh, this morph is something else. We get the value from Wasp if they don't change this one. That was a that was a 1 out of 3. The fact that he just happened to be in there. Oh man. The morph is strong. The morph is strong in this one. Let's go ahead and play Agent Coulson. We'll play Angel. That's going to bring us back up to a capped hand size. We can decide what we want to play from there. It's the RNG synergy. Yeah, for sure. So they do get the Cerebro. We could have accidentally rolled in Cerebro. So this was definitely. Ooh. We get the Modok. I don't think Doc Ock is great for us here. We do get the Doc Ock into the Heimdall potentially. Oh, and their Iceman hit our Wasp, so it's 1 cost now. I kind of want to just pull their stuff in with Doc Ock, though. I know it's probably not like the best play. For whatever, that's what I feel like I need to do. Agent Coulson, or C2. My worry was that it puts too much stuff here for him, or it gives too much value here compared to what we want to do. And then Heimdall on left. I was thinking Heimdall on left, but this Hobgoblin's tricky. Yeah, not anymore. Definitely not anymore. So we could do Modok. Modok is 9 power here, which doesn't give us the lead that we need. So they didn't play their Blue Marvel, so they can't Mystique. So this is, I think, maxed at what they have. Cerebro's also broken in this lane. So this becomes 5. It brings us to a tie of 19. We tie in this lane, we just push for, wait, what? 16? The Drunk Detective. Wasp is a vanilla card, so it gets +3. It gets +3 from Washington, D.C. Just Vision, right? They can only add 3 power left. I guess you're right. We'll do that. Wait. They added more than 3 power to the left. Yeah. Had we thrown Wasp over there, it would, yeah. Had we thrown Wasp over there, it would have been fine. Oof. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess you're right. They didn't add more than 3. They only added 3 power. They only added 3 power to the left, but they took ours away. That's okay. Had we went with my play line, I think we would have lost anyways, because it would have been 8 here. We would have only been... We would have been 20. We would have won this lane by 8. This one would have been a tie, and so that would have came down to the tiebreaker anyways. So my original play didn't work either. The only way that this would have worked would Vision here and then Wasp to the left. And then Tinsiv, didn't you win? No, we lost the tiebreaker. We lost this lane by 10. We only won this one by 8. No bad math? Yeah. Yeah, the bad maths happen sometimes. The important thing is Morph pulled his weight. You're right. Morph definitely pulled his weight in that one. We need a play where Jubilee pulls Morph. That would be beautiful. Jubilee pulls Morph into like the best card that happened. What happened to Kitty Pryde? She was causing disconnect issues, and so they disabled her. So she's gone. She's gone for a little while. The risk was well calculated, but man, am I bad at math. That's if I haven't heard a truer statement. Morph into Shadow King. Ooh. And set myself back to 0? Wait, no. It set it to whatever the base was. So they bounced her back to their hands? What, Kitty Pryde? Yeah, Kitty Pryde's now just in collections. She can't be queued up with. I guess that, yeah. Oh, I thought I ended a turn. My bad, guys. Morph into Absorbing Man? I don't think that would work, Austin. Because I think once morphs, he loses his on reveal status. I would assume. I actually haven't tried it, but what I would think would happen. The real Chad play is morph into morph. So we wouldn't keep the variant though. We'd get their variant, which I think is even more Chad than keeping ours. What does Lockjaw do here? He leans into the RNG. He lets your RNG run wild. Ook, technically you would think so, but the example I'm pulling from is using Absorbing Man after Mystique. So Mystique originally has the on reveal, but she takes over the ongoing once she's triggered, and so Absorbing Man doesn't actually trigger the on reveal anymore. Lockjaw helps make sure Morph finds the board, which he did. He found the board today. I think this is just a morph in mid and watch the high roll happen. They have a lot of stuff in their hand. Yeah, so Taskmaster, his ability doesn't change. So Taskmaster is on reveal, set the power of this card equal to whatever. So the on reveal stays. Mystique takes over and kind of Mystique takes over and kind of absorbs the ongoing in place of the on reveal. So we get Valkyrie. We know that they at least have a Valkyrie. Still a 5 cost. He's pulling his weight. And then we're gonna do Doc Ock into Rickety Bridge because that's always the fun play. As another example, you could use Mystique after Rogue. Steals a skill. By that logic, it shall work with the same. Yeah, so with Mystique, Rogue can... Or I guess, Mystiquing after Rogue. That's true. So we're using Rogue. Once it steals one, it takes that on. That is not great for us. Oof. And they hit us with the good old thumbs up, too. Feels bad. Feels real bad. They reveal first, so Valkyrie is not incredible for them. We could do... maybe this? Because I think we need the most power here.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
And then J Hugs, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. That brings us to 2 for the day. Very much appreciate the support. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Just being kind and helping out. All right. Yeah. So they have Khazar. So I assume they have a lot of like low cost cards. Wait, does that alert say Wong? It sure does, Savvy. It sure does. Imagine BMing to LSG. So I think we lose this one. We know they have Valkyrie. I think they play and stack their cards over here. But I'm going to let it roll. We're going to see. Spectrum is not what I was expecting. We still lose to it, though. But it was not what I was expecting at all. Yeah, the alert says it took you long enough. If only the opponent had priority on that rickety bridge. Had they had priority, yeah, it would have been Professor X and then it would have stayed in, right? That's all right. We're going to play it a couple more times. I know that we've hit 3, but Just joining in, why rip Kitty? So Kitty Pryde was disabled because she was causing disconnect bugs for people playing against her. So the one that I noticed specifically was when using Daredevil. My understanding, or what I've gathered just from like what I've seen, is that when you load into a game, it kind of creates a game state that is active for 45 minutes max. If the game state does not close out before then it gives an error and it force closes it. It's like a failsafe. And when using Kitty Pryde, if I had Daredevil on board and the opponent played Kitty Pryde, it would disconnect me, and it keeps that game state open for that 45 minutes. And so you are just stuck in a unable to reconnect loop until the game finally times out that session. Boys, we got to morph. We do. It is morphin' time. Kitty Pryde shall not re-enter the game until they nerf Leech, so she does not save him again. What do you mean? She saved Leech? So the Storm's not great. I mean, X-Men movie joke? I've watched the X-Men movie. I remember her saving Bishop, but not Leech. Oh, she saves Leech from Juggernaut? Wait. Did I not realize that was Leech? I didn't realize that was Leech, that it was the child, right? And so she was morphing, or she was phasing through the walls, and he was coming through crashing. I didn't realize that was Leech. Interesting. I'm learning new things. They just made him not green. That makes sense. Children are kind of leeches, so it makes sense. Oof. That's a big oof. Yeah, the child removes all powers from anyone who's close. That's true. And I didn't even make the connection because in this game he's green, so I just assumed I didn't know Leech's backstory. I assumed he was some kind of alien. Is just what I thought. I didn't connect him with being a mutant. You don't remember the best line? I do. I remember that one. I just didn't realize it was Leech. It's not easy being green. Wait, and I don't know if he's a mutant or not, or if I don't know. I don't know, like, other than that he takes their powers away. He's supposed to be green, and it's a big part of his storyline. He's a mutant in the comics. Oh, that makes sense. We lose this one every time, right? We just lost mid. I don't know why Cerebro 2 has picked up. Like, I haven't seen Cerebro 2 all day, except when Jeff ran it yesterday. And we ran into it, I think, twice in 4 games. And so Morph does not get good value from Cerebro 2. I haven't watched the X-Men movies in a long time. So I watched them like a couple. It hasn't been very long since I watched them. It's been like 2 months. And I hadn't watched them at all before that. So I binged all of them together. So like, I watched them in release order, not necessarily story order. So I think we just retreat out of this one. We're gonna play until we get a win. The green-skinned Leech's early history is unknown. He was a rare mutant whose physical mutation became apparent before reaching puberty. And for the other people that have watched X-Men and probably know a little bit more, I don't remember the name, but I think it was in one of the first 2. The guy's son that he was utilizing to be able to control the other mutants. Did he have any kind of significance in, like, is he an actual character role in like comic book lore? Yeah, Stryker. That's who. So Stryker. Because I haven't connected him to any characters either. Super important character? It's their interpretation of Legion. Ooh. I started a whole conversation with the Leech joke. You did, because I didn't realize the origins of. I didn't know Leech was in there. I know that Jubilee had like a 5-second, like I think they were trapped in like a cell or a pit, and Jubilee was down there. But other than that, I didn't see her in the X-Men movie either. Ooh, Legion, the FX series. Are they related, Ginzo? In some version, Legion is Professor X's son. Really? This is wild. I need to catch up on my comic book reading. We either rotate 2 cards. Using Lockjaw and Sinister London is never great or never ideal. It's a self-contained series. Leech is also in the animated series. I haven't seen the animated series. I just caught up on like the cinematic movies. Wait. Unfortunate. Rotating in Gamma Lab was not ideal. Did you know that Wolverine made an appearance? No, Wolverine was in them? What, did he have like a very prevalent role, Heavy? Like if so, do you know which ones he was in? Just a cameo? That makes sense. That's probably why I didn't, he was a background character. That's probably why I didn't recognize he was in there. Nobody really likes Wolverine. I figured he's probably in like an underutilized character for him. Brought in coffees for everyone. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. But Heavy, no, I was just playing. I know that Wolverine was in there. Wolverine Sinister London. Wolverine Sinister London could have been a play. Or I guess Jubilee Sinister London. I don't know if I said Wolverine Sinister London. It's been a day, guys. So we can do. I mean, we can do Doc Ock. Should drain the resources, I think. Was the Red Skull? The Red Skull was Morph, right? Oof. Into the Onslaught Citadel. I played it over there just hoping that maybe they had a good ongoing, but that is not what we wanted. It's not what we wanted at all. All right, I think we do Doc Ock, and we forcibly cap out at least one of their lanes. Just tuned in. What is this deck? It's a user suggested deck, and it is a RNG heavy. Just we're waiting to see if we're trying to buy a win at this point. Imagine playing Red Skull as an anti-morph tech. Ooh, that's a big... Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't think we can win. Even with Infinite on the board, there's no way we win. Oof. We're still waiting to buy a win. A Lockjaw deck? Yeah, this one is meant to be just an RNG heavy deck to utilize Morph. I've used Morph in exactly one deck, and that was Mogwai's Stature list. So it had Stature, it had Morph, and it had Iron Man. That was the only list that I've ran that I think I had a positive win rate running it. So I can run that one for a couple of games after we finally find a way. It's okay, we're D-ranking anyways. I did climb a little bit too much over the last couple of days. I was afraid I was gonna ricochet into. What is that? What is what? What is what, Atlas? Oh, what am I? Yeah, I didn't want to boost up into bot MMR, so I'm okay dropping. I'm okay dropping a few. I'm gonna run more with Agatha, just for the RNG sake. I don't think we want to duplicate Maria Hill. Sad that Infinite can't compete these days. It really is. Infinite used to be like you see that on the board, and it's just you avoid that lane after that. Does MMR still drop in Infinite? Right now it does. They're going to change it once they release the division between Infinite players and everybody else. They're going to change it where once you hit Infinite, it takes a snapshot of your current MMR. You can't drop below that. You can still climb and get higher MMR, but you can't drop below it. So right now you can still tank intentionally. And I don't necessarily tank intentionally, but I also don't run just try-hard stuff after Infinite. A normal Agatha deck has less RNG than this. That's true. That's true. Sometimes you just have to go to the casino and hope for the best. Red Skull is so lore accurate, bringing the community together over our collector hatred. I don't think he's terrible. Like he was exactly where he was for a very long time before like it ever became much of an issue. I think of all of the good cards they had in their hand, we had to hit Magic. There had to be something better we could have hit. So I want to disable Vormir so that I can play into it. Maybe we do that. Next turn we can play Jubilee there to rotate and pull a new card. Before Shuri became more widely available, yeah. Before it became known how strong it was. Like Red Skull's always been around. He's always been strong, but usually a 5-cost 8 power if your opponent had that lane capped out wasn't enough to just like lean in on. Oh, wait. What? Oh no. I see what, oh no. Well, it's time to retire, guys. It's been fun. It's been real, but not real fun. We're having an awful day. We're gonna try one more chance at an RNG win, and then I'll run the stature list for a couple of games to see if we can continue on the morph train. I took Lockjaw out to the barn. I was raised in the I was raised close to the country, so oof. That's brutal. He never saw it coming either. Neither did I, to be fair. And then Saints, thank you so much for the gifted sub over to the Drunk Detective. Sleep is the secret to playing well in Snap. It might be. That might be the secret to doing well. For your pain and suffering. Thank you so much, Saints. We could have this fun by just putting Morph in a deck. You can, yeah. Morph can slot in. Rest in peace, Kitty. No, so they said the wave interaction is intentional. I don't know why. It seems super counterintuitive. But the wave interaction, the interaction with Dream Dimension, Elysium, all cost-changing effects are intentional. They disabled her, is why it's RIP Kitty. She can't be played right now. She was causing people to disconnect from the game for 45 minutes at a time. They did so. The two pieces that they said were bugs was the collector interaction and the beast bounce interaction. It should retain at 0. So they did say that those two pieces were bugs, but otherwise they said it was working as intended. Don't play Morph next to any card you care about, though. Too many times Morph turned into Odin and reactivated Mistress Negative. Ooh, Spooter Dooter. It's a good call. It's a real good call. We do get She-Hulk out of the Morph. Okay, so she is bonkers. Yeah, Zombie Lemon. I think she's going to be very flexible. So to counter Hitmonkey next season, I think a lot of people are going to do like Death Wave, or like not Death Wave, but Electro Ramp Wave style decks. And so having Kitty Pryde, you're still not fully restricted in that. And so you're going to be able to, she's going to be very versatile. I want to play the discounted miles, but I also want to pull their stuff in. Maybe Octopus in one of their Superflows? I like the way you think, Gomez. Would you put Morph in the Stature deck? Yeah, I'll run that one. And that one came from creator Mogwai. So it's not my build, but it does run somewhat decently. What is Kitty's wave interaction? So as long as Kitty Pryde is on the board, she's not impacted by cost-changing effects. So wave, since she's on the board when wave is played, when you pull her back into your hand, she's still a stationary state, so it still counts her as if she's on the board. She only costs 1 instead of 4. So you can use wave on 4, and then you can play 2 cards on 5. So you could do an Odin plus Kitty Pryde, and then on 6 you can do the same thing. So it really, really restrictive and like really, I think, really versatile experience, or really versatile interaction. I think we're going to do a double rotation here. If we rotate it into Infinite, huge. Not really a good idea at the end, it seems. At the end of... Oh, after using Doc Ock? I swear he always pulls Shang-Chi. Yeah, it does seem like that. I mean, we do get the Infinite, which is infinitely more power than we had before. We could rotate our Wasp. We have 2 not great pulls and 1 decent one. You could put Electro into Lockjaw for the extra power. You could. We could. I guess we could have last turn, right? I don't think we want to do Heimdall. Why rest in peace, Kitty? She's been disabled, Joxa. Heimdall the Superflow? Which Superflow? This one? This one? Oh yeah. I guess push the 20 power here and then push the decent amount here. So what if we did this first? I guess it doesn't matter where we rotate it, right? And so Kitty Pryde was disconnecting people for spans of like 45 minutes at a time. So it was if you were playing against Kitty Pryde. Just don't pull Jubilee Wasp. Yeah. If this works, I'll be very happy. The point is fun. We got him. We got him. We found the win. It took a while. It took a long while, but we found it. OP deck. I think it took like 5 games to get there. But we eventually made it happen. So we're gonna keep with the morph for a little bit. We're gonna put her in the only list that I've ever seen her do decently in, and that's... Oh wait, no, this is not that one. Yes, it is. Yeah, this is Mogwai's version of a stature list. Being that if the opponent does a Red Skull, you could before you could lean in on the Iron Man in that lane and then stature another one to try and find a way to win. Oh wait, Ferret Pie requested a deck. Okay, we're not gonna run this one. So that's where the win was hiding. Yeah, that's where the win was hiding. Time for a deck spotlight. And then Ferric, do you have a... Oh, you do. Yeah, Mogwai is a morph enjoyer. He's also a move enjoyer for sure. Okay, and so this one looks like a pretty cohesive Devil Dino list. Is this one that you made? Let's see. Let's figure out which one to take out. I think we're going to take out Stature Zoo. I reached infinite with it for the first time. It's huge. Oh, no, I was copying the image. Oops. There we go. All right, and so we have the next deck recommendation. Congratulations on Infinite, by the way. I do enjoy a Lockjaw Thor Casino. Wish I had Jane, though. Yeah, I enjoy a Lockjaw Thor, like a Jane Foster rotation. I think it's one of those kind of like Sarah Techs, where it's always decently strong. If you know the deck limits, you can do very well with it. The Coulson Cap variant is awesome. Yeah. Agent Coulson has some pretty cool variants. But unfortunately, he's really only used in like this and a handful of other builds. Savvy said, well, not sure how to feel. I did get a rare split of the Baby Doctor Doom, but it's gold and not inked. Gold is nice too. I was climbing with it, but decided to try something different. To try some different decks and drop 9 ranks. Ooh, hair trigger. What was it that... Oh, the Lockjaw Thor you were climbing with? Yeah, that can happen. Is Infinite more impressive the higher your collection level? Not necessarily, Chonk. So Infinite right now is really person dependent. So the reason I say it's person dependent is there's a rating that's not shown. It's MMR. And so some people get a high enough MMR that you're locked into just... You only play bots or like 90% bots. And so getting Infinite on those accounts is relatively easy compared to those that are like in the trenches playing against other players. Because bots are more likely to stay for 4 and 8 cube games, where real players are going to be playing a little bit more conservative. And so it's not necessarily like as your collection level gets higher, it gets more impressive. It really depends on like what MMR range you're in. Because on the flip side of that, being too high, being too easy, being too low, you also fall into like a bot MMR as well. And so it's really hit and miss. It can go either way. Reaching 60 or 70 was harder for me than 100 sometimes. Sometimes it is, Detective. I know on my alternate account, hitting Infinite the first time was like a joke, because it was like all bots. And then that next season, my MMR reset or like updated, and I wasn't able to do it with the cards that I had. I should only play a pool 2 deck then? How come, Bart? So, I mean, there's some pool 2 decks that can do decent, but it doesn't. I don't think it matches you based on like what deck you're running. I really like Cosmo into Mystique to try and stop the Shuris. Ooh, that's a pretty good playline. Like low power, but if you happen to block the Shuri, then sometimes you can control the rest of the game. Tinfoil hat has been put on. I got you. I got you, Bart. Makes sense now. So we got Black Bolt from Agent Coulson. I mean, we got the OP crystal that we could throw down. I think we're gonna do Black Bolt. Because it's either that or we do Hawk. Devil Dino costs a little bit too much being hit with Iceman. Frozen, you said, hey TLSG, I just got Ghost from the track as my first pull 5 card, feeling bad. I mean, at least it's a pull 5 card, but I do agree, you're right. It could have been better. It could have been better, but it's not the worst one. It's not the worst one you could have pulled by any means. What do they have in deck? They have 6, so these are 12 each. They might have like an Ultron or something to like really lean in on the Khazar, Mystique, Blue Marvel. I'm not sure what they're running, but I'm fairly confident they could find a couple of ways. And then Twan, thank you so much for the resub as a tier 1. Hello, Sensei TLSG. Hello, Twan. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for the 2 months. Trying to make a ghost deck now. Yeah, ghost deck is... I wasn't able to find a way to make one work well, unfortunately. Yeah, usually fighting for priority or initiative is really, really important. And so to intentionally drop it sounds cool in like counter-style decks, but a lot of times it just ends up being lackluster. Thanks for playing the deck, by the way. Yeah, no problem, Ferric. I wanted a way for people to interact with the stream, so like the channel points, the 1v1s, the avatar. So I wanted the channel points to be like something cool that the community can just get for free and then interact with the stream. And no one is going to see this, but I just hit rank 65 after climbing up from rank 20 using my Jane Jaw deck. I mean, the bull guy. I saw it. I saw it, and a few other people I'm sure saw it. But congratulations on climbing up to 65. You can sort of make it work with Valkyrie. Yeah, you can, but it's still tough. Like, it's still really, really situational. Do you think they'll add more mechanics to the game so they can continue to create new cards and not run out of ideas? So I know that they said they wanted it to be pretty simple to pick up. So like, if a new player downloads it, they wanted them to be able to like play and it not be too confusing. With some of the stuff that they have, it definitely gets confusing. So I think they might honestly lean more towards the stuff like stature that's abilities, but not necessarily keywords, to like try and help make it simple. But I don't know. I don't know. I do think they continue to innovate and change as they go. Yeah, so Kitty Pride's a new mechanic, but not necessarily a new keyword. And so I think they do new stuff in the game, but not necessarily label it like ongoing on reveal. Because once it's labeled, it's like, it's directly that. Not true. Orca was disabled? What do you mean, Orca? Oh, well, he didn't actually release, though. He was just... Time is anything but free? Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. I got you. I was trying to figure out what you meant, but I said in their free time. I got you. Yeah, Orca was disabled for a very long time, but they didn't release him first. I think where the issue comes from here is that they released Kitty Pryde and then it just didn't work as intended. I just realized we got a second rock slide from the Triskelion, which is massive. When you really think about it, Kitty Pryde is basically a bounce card. Yeah, she's like a bounce card. I think she fits probably the best in the long run in that shell. He also gave himself an extra card with Thor, and Thor died. Over in the left lane? Oh, wow. You're not wrong. It does look like they're running Galactus. So it's low tempo, but I think we just play Cosmo into the Triskelion. Yeah, two rock slides, 2 hawks. We were going to gamble one in the left lane and hope that if it was a Galactus deck, that it would be here. Next card release, solve a Rubik's Cube to give this card additional power, equal to the square root of pi. That's going to take me a while. I don't remember the steps to solve a Rubik's Cube. I did at one point, and it was like the very basic way, like the beginner way. Like first you make the... Like either you do the corners or the T's or whatever it was. I've forgotten it by now. I haven't done it in so long. And then WTR, you said I went from rank 30 to 70 for the first time using the She-Not deck. She-Not's one that it can put a surprising amount of power on the board. So you can get quite a bit done with the She-Not deck. It's one of my favorite kind of newer archetypes that has cropped up. Have you seen the new 4/5 data mine card? That on reveal, move a card from this location to another location? The effect sounds familiar, but the name is eluding me right now. But I have seen something like that, and I think it's kind of cool. I think it's going to be potentially like Negasonic, in that when it works, it can be really good. But I don't know. I think it's also going to be a little bit inconsistent. I think it's going to take a while to figure out the best shell for it. Steggy something? Yeah, that sounds familiar. Curious about the title, Rest in Peace Kitty. They disabled Kitty Pryde. She was causing disconnect issues for the opponent, and the opponent would be stuck disconnected for like spurts of like 45 minutes. So earlier today I was disconnected from a game for a solid 45 minutes. Actually twice today. And so from what I gathered, I think it was linked to Daredevil's interaction primarily, and then a couple of other like inconsistent ones. But I think with Daredevil, it just, if you play Daredevil on turn 5 instead of getting a read, it just shuts down your game, and then you're stuck in that game state for 45 minutes but just can't connect. And so they did cap out their far right lane. They do have 2 bishops. We could always do... Oh wait, no, we can't do Hawk because the cloning vats. This isn't the real Finno? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Are they a content creator? I mean, Drax is huge value. We could always do Drax and then Nimrod. But I also kind of like the idea of doing Hawk, and then we can do Mystique and something else on the last turn. Sure, he's hard to climb with because you're waiting to draw her, and if you don't, you have to be big-brained. I think it's harder now than it used to be. So you previously, before Shuri was like a really well-known meta deck, it had that surprise element. And so with it being so common now, it doesn't have that surprise factor. Fino, he used to play Hearthstone professionally, but is now trying Snap. Really? I mean, it could be. There's a lot of the carryover creators that have found pretty successful footing in Snap. So if we do Devil Dino here, it's 12, that's a decent 12, 13, 14, 15 extra power. Yeah. They probably win this one, I think. Shuri hard to climb with? I don't know that Shuri's like hard to climb with, but it is much more well known now. And so it makes those games, you have to play a lot more 1 and 2 cubes versus anything else. And so we do get this stack of the Iron Man and the Mystique. Is this a... I wonder if this is just a value deck. It ran Hood, Squirrel Girl, Mystique, Bishop, Iron Man. I'm curious what they were running the rest of the way through. Shuri's probably the same as Galactus. You're getting 1 and 2 cube retreats a lot of times, yeah. Yeah, it's just not, it doesn't have the surprise factor anymore. So let's play one more with the Dino Hawk deck. We're still trying to buy some wins. That one I don't think was an impressive showing of it. I need a deck that I can get back on track with. Trav, what decks have you been running that has been decently successful? And so for me, my easiest climb is a deck that I find enjoyable. And actually yesterday I actually climbed from like 113 to about 125 in the span of like one day with a deck very similar to this one. I'll link the snap.fan. I made a video over it. I'll link the snap.fan list. I subbed in Kitty Pryde for Scorpion, but otherwise I kept the list the exact same. And it did fairly well over a pretty good sample size. I ended with like a 65% win rate over, I think it was 70 games. Trav, you said I was using Kitty Pride. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes it a little bit more makes it a little bit more difficult, I guess, because now you can't necessarily lean into the Kitty Pride. Hopefully, they fix the issue pretty quickly. That's what we can hope for. Goose, Valkyrie, and Storm are the best counters to Shuri right now. There's some decent ones. I think a good Cosmo placement is also really solid. Yep, good tempo and Sarah decks can still be effective. You just have to sometimes play them a little bit more cautiously. Just pulled Stature out of cache, and a lot of the deck lists I'm seeing are from last season. Stature got some... So the thing with Stature is that she got a lot of traction when she was released, or I guess a decent amount of traction. But from there, not as many people had it, and I think most of the creators stopped brewing with it, and so it doesn't see a lot getting updated. I know Safety Blade still runs it quite a bit. And then I used it a couple of times in like discard decks, and I just haven't found one that just feels like it absolutely uses her incredibly effectively. And then what happened to Kitty Pride? They disabled her. They said no more Kitty Pride. So the claw can go over to the right, but it's not going to be enough over there. I don't think they have another big card. We do have priority though. So I think we invest more here, and then maybe just a small addition to the left lane. Good for me and good for you? Wait. We need unstoppable decks in the game? So when I cannot win, I just play that? See, but then it becomes like the main deck that's played. So I feel like that's kind of what Thanos' rotation became. They disabled her. I mean, they did. That's their wording, not that's their wording, not mine. It should be temporarily disabled. I mean, that's their verbiage. I didn't make it up. But I think the thing with unstoppable decks cool is that it becomes the main or only deck that you're seeing, and so then it's really like negative connotations with it. Marvel Snap creator siding with Sentinels? Wait. What do you mean siding with Sentinels? Gotcha. I didn't interpret the capo on that one. So thanks for looking at you games. Sometimes I can interpret the like the sarcasm, but that one went over my head. I think it's today specifically. Things are just going right over my head. I think we're gonna play Moon Knight. We'll just play the lottery. We'll see if we discard Stature or not. They did. They threw Kitty Pryde straight into the gulag. Unfortunately, she phased her way out of the game. So the first card was a cloak. Ooh, we don't have a way to stop Galactus. Oh, I guess we have Arrow. Do you have any Hawk decks without Zabu? Unfortunately, I haven't found any Hawk decks with. Ooh, they no longer have a Kang. We no longer have Stature. It's unfortunate. Ooh, into the Galactus. Oh my gosh, that is a snapback for sure. Their wave backfired on them. I don't have any Hawk decks with Zabu, or without Zabu. Oh, I guess that's true. There's a bounce deck with. There's a bounce deck with Hawk. I was thinking in more like the traditional sense. So it does have Kitty Pryde. You can take Kitty Pryde out for Black Widow. That was what was originally in it. That was the only change. That was the only like big brain change that I made, which wasn't. It was just probably a side grade. And so if you're looking for a bounce deck, this one runs Hawk and it uses it pretty effectively because you can drop your Korg a handful of times. Black Widow blocks them from draws 1 or 2 times throughout the game. And so that would be the list. Atlas, you said I woke up and chose violence. I didn't choose the violence. The morph into a rotation into Black Bolt is the one that absolutely came for it wasn't a fan of Galactus. And then PR. I don't know how to read your name otherwise, but PR. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Thank you for the support. That bumps us up to 4 for the day. The support is very greatly appreciated. I'm glad to have you here. Oh, you said you know the deck, but it's not really your style? I don't like not running interactive cards. See, so with that bounce deck, the main thing that you're hoping for is to add enough disruption through your Korg, your Black Widow, your Iceman, to make it where they can't do the things. So instead of like directly blocking or countering it with like a Cosmo or those interactive cards, you're hoping to stop it before it can become a possibility. We do have Morph. It may be Mighty Morphin time. And then IT, thank you so much for the raid. Hopefully you had a fantastic stream. And then PR, you said, glad to have you on Twitch. Glad to have you on Twitch now. Wish you could stream more. I wish I could stream more as well. It's something that maybe eventually we'll be able to do more often. And then the real Rico, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us. We're gonna do morph. It's Mighty Morphin time. Actually, let's morph into Mojo World. Just because of the goose, it's a little bit more restrictive. And then Celeste, welcome in as well. We had a rough day. Oh no, IT, what happened? Just not good climbing wise. I would say you stream a lot. We're working on it. I've been a lot more consistent the last like month and a half than I have been ever before. Hey, want to send them over to learn Snap? We're gonna try. We haven't been having a huge. Oh wow, we haven't been having huge success today either. But maybe we can. Maybe together we can find a way to win. So they do Snap. We don't have anything. Mr. Fantastic can reach Death's Domain. Maybe that's our play. If you play 4 morphs in a game, you should get Zord for the Mighty Morphin Marvel Snap cards. It's Morphin time? Yeah, you never thought you'd hear it's Morphin time. Ooh, 7 Galactus games in a row. So if it makes you feel any better, IT, we just last game went up against somebody that was running Galactus. We had Quantum Tunnel, we played Moon Knight, it hit something, I don't remember exactly what it hit, and then it rotated into Black Bolt. They had used Wave, so it hit their Galactus. And then they retreated. So we stole a few cubes back for you. It is tough when you're saying like fighting the same or playing against the same thing game after game. The Space Stone is going to allow them to move something over there. You stream almost daily? We're working on it. We're working on being a consistent streamer. It hit Kang first. That's right, Ferric. It hit Kang and then it rotated out. So we could do this, but I think we lose. They're gonna have to move a card over into Death's Domain. Maybe we get lucky. And instead of Swarm, Calling Wing's gonna be 1 extra power here. I mean, in that same breath that we made a really good play, a couple of games before that, we also zeroed into a Cosmo, or into a Lockjaw. So we zeroed out our own Lockjaw. So it's been an up and down day. Not necessarily a good one, not necessarily a bad one. It's just been a day for sure. Oof. Unit 0 takes us out behind the shed too. I played Morph and it hit Ultron, filling up my board, so I snapped and gave them 8 cubes. That was awfully kind, Savvy. We may not run Morph for too long. It is one of those that sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But it's fun to have a deck that at least uses or utilizes it somewhat decently. We can look for another one. I don't think there's another Morph list that is anywhere near like consistent. Morph always hits. It always hits something. Whether it be a good card, sometimes it's just going to hit a rock. No sarcasm. I've had Morph go into a rock before. Those plays never feel good. You said Galactus always just feels like an easy card. Yeah, it's very linear, which I think is why I don't necessarily enjoy playing it. Because it's very straightforward. So I don't know. I feel like it doesn't do what we want to do very well. Or very consistent. Or I feel like it's too easy to counter. Like it's very transparent, very telegraphed for the opponent. Yeah, it gets boring fast too. And I'm always a little bit afraid that I think I have it, I snap, and then they have like that one direct counter, and then they swindle 8 cubes when I'm just sitting here trying to gain 1 and 2 at a time. Yeah, we gained a cost, but what at cost? But at what cost did we gain it? Have you ever played Morph into an enemy MODOK? I have not. I guess if it looked like they were running discard, we probably wouldn't Morph until maybe the last turn. You said there's some lag? We haven't hit Black Bolt with our stature once. So we could do Iron Man. Do Iron Man mid, maybe? And if we need to soak, we can. You unlocked Valkyrie today? Valkyrie is one of those that I want to be able to utilize it, but I don't know. I don't have very much luck with Valkyrie. It's one of those that I think can give you surprising wins, but not always the most consistent way. I think maybe we play for right lane. I don't know exactly what they're running. I assume it's probably a big card though. Maybe they have a Magneto, and they're gonna pull our Mr. Fantastic over to the left. Yeah, she's definitely a fun surprise card, but I think it's very tech dependent. I don't think it fits into everything. As an RNG concept, Morph can quite backfire, but he's kind of a bit more consistent compared to other RNG cards. Yeah, so you can usually gauge what potential outs you're going to get from your opponent. Shang-Chi to the left. We might have been able to Shang-Chi to the left. So with Morph, you can kind of gauge what your opponent might be playing. It's not that it's definitely not consistent. I think most of the time you could throw a Mr. Fantastic and be better off. Throw a Maximus. That's the guaranteed power. So it becomes easier to read like where you're going to land at the end of the game. But I think there's certain times where you can gauge like if your opponent is running like a big card deck, you can more easily just kind of throw Morph and expect to hit something above curve or above average. Wait, you said E3 is officially dead? No, I haven't seen that. Yeah, turn 6 Morph, especially if you have priority going into turn 6. Or not have priority against like an Apocalypse deck. You can do decently there as well. So Morph doesn't get any benefit from Silver Surfer. Once it changes, it's basically that other card. He said, oh, here he goes, talking about how good Maximus is. I think Maximus, for the stat line, Maximus is incredible. There are downsides to it. I wouldn't say it's like the best, but I do think it's very valid for the stat line. So into Cosmo, into the no one reveal locations, even sometimes with 0 or just as a last turn play, he's pretty flexible in what he can do. So Maximus as a turn 6 drop along with 2 Titanias and a 1 cost She-Hulk. It's a lot of power you're putting onto the board. I think we're going to risk our Moon Knight. Or I guess we risk our stature. We can't, since we can't play Black Bolt on 5 because it got hit with either Icebox or Iceman. Since it got hit with Iceman, I think we risk it. It got canceled after Ubisoft pulled out. Ooh, see, I used to always get really hyped for E3. Not that I ever attended or watched all of it, but like it was this big event. So it is kind of sad that. But that's true. I can't remember the last time I paid attention to a full E3. Like there's always like the highlights that you look at for like this cool game or that cool game, but not necessarily the event itself. I feel like Moon Knight is designed to just target your stature. It feels like it always hits stature. Wait, Morph hit Dr. Doom and I didn't even notice it. Oof. The last time I watched E3 was when X-Play or Attack of the Shows would do coverage for it. That's true. Whenever Attack of the Show and those were like relevant. I haven't seen either of those in a long time either. So we know he has Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom and She-Hulk. Could be pretty devastating if they play the She-Hulk here. Otherwise, this is 14. It doesn't beat that lane. It doesn't beat that one. Oof. It's another one we're going to retreat out of. I think we're... Wait, wait. I copied the Dr. Doom and then we discarded it? You're right. We did discard Dr. Doom. Oof. That is... that's mean. So in that case, we either Black Bolt or Iron Man here. That might give us the lead we need. Wow. Moon Knight discarded Dr. Doom. That's... Thank you guys for paying attention. It's one of those days. I think we're overly tired. We just need a good night's sleep. E3 was cool before every company had their own in-house event. Yeah. Yeah, back whenever that was like the event where like you saved up your big reveals. And so now there's the Nintendo, all of these other events that I think are kind of a little bit bigger because they can really specialize in their stuff. Discard always hits what you don't want hit. It's only 5:30 a.m. I didn't hear a bell. Wait, it's 5:30 a.m. or 4:30 a.m.? So it's 3:35 my time. Are we 12 hours apart, Atlas? Oh wait, we're going against Dara. Is Dara live? Not that I'm not to snipe them or anything. I was just curious if they were. Oh yeah. Yep, he's live and Binks is live as well. Binks is live for an early Thursday stream. And so Dara's running Thanos. I don't know if we morph here. I feel like the answer is always to morph though. It's Dara always morph. I mean, we're gonna be he's a paid pumper. We'll go ahead and pump it. I don't know if it's the right call or not, but we're gonna roll the dice. Alia, you said I liked your video today. Oh man, yeah. The cable stealing my Attuma just blew. How long has my overlay been off? We morphed into Thanos, by the way. Huge value. I don't know, I just got here. Thank you for letting me know, by the way. You know a good night's sleep doesn't exist when you have young kids. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think we go with Iron Man. And then Just a Fiction, 3C SSS, Droopy Full, X Tech. Thank you guys for the follows, by the way. I can't tell you that, TLSG. I ain't no snitch. And then Top, he said, speaking of it, one of these days, I think you're on the wrong scene. Oh, wait. Oh, speaking of it being one of those days. Yeah, thank you, Top. I just saw your message, too. And then Atlas, you said you live on the other side of the world. That's wild. So the doc, he's running a Galactus list, isn't he? Oh, no. He's running Galactus. He hasn't ramped, though, right? So he can't play Galactus this turn. But he has to be leaning into it. Oh no, but no, I mean with the Doc Ock, it's definitely it's definitely a Galactus Thanos. Wait. Is he actually running stature? That's wild. So is it I have no idea what he's running. None. No idea. He's booster farming? he might be. But I don't see him booster farming on stream though. I know more, but I shall not say. I mean, I've already locked in my last turn play. Like, there's no more to it. The Galactus. I feel like he probably asked chat. Oh, for future games? Gotcha. I've got less than 5 hours sleep for the last 3 nights in total. Some weeks are hard. They are. They can be. Some of them can be pretty tough. No stream sniping people? Yeah, no. I don't think anybody was like sharing information, at least not that I saw. As soon as I see a Doc Ock, I assume it's Galactus, and they're just trying to drain our resources. TLSG, what deck did you use in the daily tournament yesterday? I played 2. The first time I ran the list that I ran yesterday on stream, so the like the Electro, or it's like the ramp. So it runs Wave, Psylocke, and then the Death Wave portions. I ran that one, the one that had Kitty Pryde. And then the second one I queued up for, I ran a movement deck and got it. I wouldn't say I got slaughtered. But it was rough. Like it was a lot of thinking. And so by the end of just the first round, I think it went like 6 rounds in that movement game. I was so tired. Like I was like, I'm okay with losing because I don't know how anyone plays movement for that long, because it was just, you're trying to like calculate all of these different things. And Atlas, I didn't see anything come through that got blocked. At least not on my end, unless it got auto-modded, but usually it gives me a notification. Molt has entered the chat. Did I miss Molt entering the chat? Bart, by the way, welcome. Hopefully you're having a great day. And then BTK, thank you for the follow. And then Doug's Goma, I see that you use the redemption for choose a card back. So after this game, I'll absolutely let you. Oh no, because he likes move decks. Gotcha. There's a few move enjoyers that I've come across. So Kraken Null is a big move supporter. Mogwai is a pretty big move person, and then Molt is also a move enjoyer. It's one of those that it can be very strong. It can put a decent amount onto the board, but you have to really think about your play lines to be able to get value from it. And it definitely wasn't a bad morph. We pulled their resource out of Nidavellir. That Shuri, though, is not what we wanted to see. We do run Shang-Chi, but we would have to get lucky with a top deck. I think instead we're going to try to hit their Taskmaster. their Arnim Zola, whatever they end up trying to go with. No problem, big fan. Big fan of Destroy. Wait, what did we hit? We hit their Taskmaster, huge. General Sergeant, your name got very, very dark. But you said positive vibes. Always positive vibes. We may be a little bit tired sometimes, but the vibes are always positive. Not Iron Man right? Yeah. I like Iron Man right. So we wanted the Moon Knight against a Shuri. Disabling their big finisher is usually worth a Hail Mary. So if you can like Null maybe. So I like Null. Sorry, Dougs, I got distracted. I like Null, but he's one of those cards that it feels like when he wins really big, but he doesn't always do what he does very consistently. Oh, maybe your General, maybe your message was just dark because the rest was highlighted. I think we're gonna go all in on the right. I was trying to decide if I wanted to split the swarms, or if that would be fine. Yeah. So it was redeemed by somebody else. General wasn't the one that claimed it. Yeah, I didn't think they'd keep Swarm to the right, but I was hoping that they would not overcome or try to overcome the other two lanes. Dodging the Taskmaster, or making them discard the Taskmaster, I think was what made this turn possible. So with the Taskmaster, they could have just kept Vision here and then had a huge power in one of these other lanes. And we did top deck Shang-Chi, by the way, so we could have potentially hit whatever they played. Beating Shuri isn't something I consider doing when playing Snap, but this does put a smile on my face. Every time you beat Shuri, it's so satisfying. And then Dougs, do you have a card back you want me to use? So let me pull up the ones that we have. We have a few. We have a few from the beta days, pretty much every Infinite one, except for I think maybe the first season. I know I don't have the Infinite Avatar from the first season. Love playing Null Destroyer. Said screw climbing to Infinite this season and just had the most fun I've had in a while. See, I feel like a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on rank, and it can get very, very stressful and take the fun out of the game. I'll change the avatar tomorrow if I can catch the stream, unless I'm feeling more of a 1v1. I mean, they both have strengths. My favorite card back is Ant-Man. Wait, which one was the Ant-Man one? Atlas, you said you're still waiting on your infinite card back from the Savage Land? So this one? Do you play on Steam or do you play on your phone? First line? Wait. Oh, the Ant-Man one. Gotcha. Gotcha, JP. So Dougs. Are you still in here, Dougs Gomez? Use the channel point redemption for the choose a card back. You play on Steam? I had to log in on my phone to get it from like the inbox or the mail inbox. For whatever reason, the Steam one doesn't work. By starting late, I've missed a lot of card backs. I hope they'll come back. They did say they're going to re-release all of the cosmetics from the beta. I love the Gold X back. Can't wait for them to offer the others in a shop. Yeah, I'm hoping they do some kind of either like year of release where it's just like they release all of the card backs all at a time. Okay, so Dougs, if you decide you want to, just let me know. Just if you decide you want to change the card back, let me know and I'll let you choose it. I'm guessing maybe something came up that maybe pulled you away. And then why rest in peace, Kitty? They disabled her. I vote for Daredevil if Doug doesn't show. The Daredevil one's also pretty solid. I really want the Spider-Man and Daredevil ones. Yeah, I think those are pretty decent. I do like the Hydra one. I think the Shield is cool, but I do like the Hydra, like the color scheme of it a little bit better. And then Rars, Sam, is that Dogi or Doge? Thank you all for the follows, by the way. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I'm glad you're able to jump in and join us. The Guardians card back looks incredible. I haven't seen the one from the upcoming season. I know that they've been doing pretty good on some of the like variants and cosmetics that they're releasing. The Hydra is a 5-star card back. The Hydra one looks really, really solid. And then Lord Voldemort, you said just hit 80 for the first time ever. With that Hawk Dino list. That's huge. Is it the one that Binks was running? Or is it the one that we ran earlier today? I don't know how Morph interacts in Quantum Realm. So Taskmaster goes, it sets it to 2, and then its on reveal happens. So I think that should be the same with Morph, right? I saw Binks showcase it. Apparently the one that Binks showcased has been popping up all over the place. The Hawk Dino is always really solid. I'm glad people are finding success with it. One of the Guardians one is a taped cassette. So good, and I think Infinite is that, but golden. That'd be pretty cool. The golden one. Oh, no, what? How? That's so unfortunate. That's disappointing. That's the biggest Infinite I've ever seen. In general, and I know in most cases, owner reveals happen before the locations, but for Quantum Realm specifically, the ability to use Taskmaster there makes me think that it's flipped compared to most locations. So like you can use Taskmaster and it'll still copy the like 26 power, whatever power Red Skull you used, because when it was featured, like that's how I snuck power in there. So I would have thought it would be the same for Infinite. Like, that's the logic that I followed. It's a 1-power Infinite. It's so tough. Okay, well. Morph always becomes the Infinite. Yeah, he's the teeny tiny Infinite. Oof. Okay, well. We'll go cubes for knowledge. Seems like Taskmaster would be a bug then. Yeah, and there were a couple of other, I think, use cases with Quantum Realm that made it seem like it was inconsistent with any other one. Yeah. I mean, he is un-Shang-Chiable. You're not wrong there. Like, he definitely cannot be Shang-Chi'd. Look at how they massacred my boy. That's the teeny tiny Infinite. Oh my gosh. Got obliterated. We're gonna leave. Carlos got the better of us. Wait, you've gone too far this time, Reddit? Was there something on Reddit, Atlas? And then, ooh, it looks like you're headed out. Have a good one. Thank you for jumping in and joining us for a while. Hopefully we catch you in the next one. And then Servi and Slower Shrimp. Thank you guys for the follows. Taskmaster's base powers is irrelevant, which is why I think it's not affected. But if the owner reveal happened, it sets the power equal to the last card played. And so like with like Shadow King, for example, it resets it. So the order, I think, would be impactful in that one. Sarcastic. Because it should use his owner reveal to set it to that power. So I guess the scenario that I think of is the ability to like hit Taskmaster with Odin or an Arnim Zola, and it re-triggers based on whatever the last card you played. So I don't know. It's one of those weird weird interactions that I don't think is. I think either way, it's not intuitive. Taskmaster's own revealed, so it's not modified after, unlike continued cards. So it's modified after. So if the own reveals happen that way, wouldn't morph be the same way? It would change morph to 2 and then the own reveal would happen. It seems like those two interactions definitely are like opposite. The wording of Realm is base power, though. The wording of Realm is base power. And so, yeah, maybe since Taskmaster sets the power. But it does override anything that was... Actually, no, it doesn't. So I think that's probably the key. So, like, if you get a card and it's hit with Scorpion, you play it into Quantum Realm, it becomes 1 instead of 2. So it just changes that, like, bottom line base. I don't know. No, the own reveal happens before the location. It's just Taskmaster's own reveal makes the effect to his base power irrelevant. So it sets it, and then even though the base changes, it doesn't matter. Is it played? You played Hoagland's kitty deck and it crashed your game? It is. It crashed it for 45 plus minutes. It's the truest of trues. It was not. It was, yeah. It was not great. And if you check out my last YouTube video, I actually included it there just because it was so wild. Yeah, so the way that I assume that it works, this is just based on things that I've seen while playing and like interactions with some of these different locations. So it seems like when you load into a game of Snap, it creates like a game state or like kind of like a lobby for the two players that has a max time of 45 minutes. And so any normal game should end before that 45-minute point. However, if anything happens that destroys, like that prohibits that from happening, then at the end of the 45 is when the game clears that like lobby. And I think that's why, if you've watched Dara's clip of Did I Get Banned, he was abusing the Kang infinite loop, which went on for about 45 minutes before it reached that error. So I'm guessing that the game lobby closed at that point. And so it's, yeah, so it disconnects you if you play against the Kitty Pryde, and then you just can't reconnect until that lobby is closed. So how do we play this one? We have the stature, we have Iron Man, and then if they don't change this, we could play for here, or maybe we do this. I think my son's at the door. I think he got off school. I'll be right back, guys. The watcher is always watching. Uatu sees all. So they have the Dracula. We took out their Infinite, which is big. We can do the right lane opens back up, so we could do Morph and then Calling Wing. Because I mean, if they're holding for Dracula, at least we match this here. I didn't realize it was that jacked up. I think it slowly started surfacing, like certain interactions. I got hit with it twice today, so I was out of the game for like an hour and a half. It was the worst waiting period ever. He said, "Bro, there are bears behind you." Yeah, I have 3. I have 3 big bears. How's the deck performing? It's decent. Like it definitely has hits and misses, but I think overall it's decent. So I don't know if we would rather do this or we lean into the Iron Man. I think we're going to try it. I think we lose from the tiebreaker, though. Ooh, they are soaking with their sunspot. Ooh, into the Ghost Rider resummon. Yeah, we definitely lost. Whoops. Well, look at that hammer. The most the most important, the most impressive hammer that I have ever seen. So he only had 2 cards in hand, though, so it's not like he had good options to choose from. We have the Mjolnir, the impressive Mjolnir. You said so gross. I just got Infinite from the raft, so turn 6 I got to play a free Infinite, a 1-power She-Hulk, Dracula, Mjolnir, and Wasp. That's huge. But why didn't he play it? So it got pulled, I'm assuming, so he only... I'm assuming it probably got pulled from Jane Foster. Well, only one of the 0 costs got pulled from Jane Foster. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't play it. Because they resummoned Jane Foster with Ghost Rider. So let's, I think we close off with a little bit of regular Sarah control for a little while. Yeah, I knew he drew it from Jane, but I thought, oh no, he only had 1 card in hand, yeah? Oh, yeah. Fraser's, oh, you don't know Nishalina? Yeah, so I loosely know her. She's from, she played Hearthstone a lot, right? And now she streams Snap. I play against her every once in a while, and usually chat points her out. I think we rated her chat one time when we were ending stream. JF pulls all 0 costs. Jane Foster, yeah. Jane Foster pulls all 0 costs into your hand. So they're running Bast. Do they? Maybe it's a Cerebro 3. Nope. With the Zabu, I doubt it's Cerebro 3. Oh, just thought so because people were saying he was doing X, so just assume people didn't know who she was. Oh, gotcha. I don't know that everyone knows who they are. Never tested Jane Foster on a negative deck. I don't know if she's worth it. So Jane Foster in a negative deck is one of those that it gives you a really high roll. So if you happen to hit it, so you have to have Jane Foster in hand before you play Mr. Negative, or else you just have a dead card. Otherwise, it can be kind of cool because you get to pull all of those 0 costs. Yeah, she's a brick when she's negative, but if you hit it, it helps increase the high roll potential of your Mr. Negative deck. I don't know if it's worth it because it sacrifices some of the little consistency that it has. Once upon a time, I did run it was a hybrid Thor and negative deck. So that if you didn't hit as long as you had Jane Foster, you had 2 ways to utilize it, to pull Mjolnir's Hammer or pull your negative cards from Mr. Negative. I don't know that idea works anymore, but at the time it was kind of cool. And then cool, you said, hey TLSG, could you say JF without saying JF though? Jane Foster? I'm so confused, Cool. You'd think they'd adjust her to a 6/5. Yeah, you would think that they... GIF? What? Well, I'm so confused, Cool. Yeah, you would think they would make her work kind of like the Peak. But I guess that would allow some extra brews to be brought in with that would try to abuse that. Like the GIF and GIF. And then Raw, thank you so much. I'm glad that thank you for the follow, by the way, and I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. Hopefully you enjoy the streams as well. We've been doing a decent amount of consistent streams, so hopefully you enjoy those too. So this looks like a negative deck that runs like a Wong Silver Surfer. I'm trying to decide if it's better to abandon this lane and just like maybe Scarlet Witch, and then we look to like Shang-Chi the left lane and just use this as our lost lane, or if it'd be better to maybe hit it with an Enchantress and like a Scarlet Witch, or Enchantress and a Sentinel instead. Tactical nuke incoming. Tricking TLSG to make noises. I'm tired though, so like I'm incredibly tired. So you might be able to. If you Enchantress, they can't Mystique. That's true. Scarlet. Why would we use Scarlet Witch to the right? So if we do this, we're keeping the Nexus here, and so instead of changing Shuri's Lab, wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be better to just Sentinel mid? That's going to give us 9 extra power instead of the Scarlet Witch on the right side. I mean, I might be looking over what you guys were suggesting. Would the Scarlet Witch to the right be in case they're doing a lane change? I was trying for you to say the word. It was a vowelless word, Draco. I got you, cool. I got you, cool. That makes sense. Oh, wait. We went... Oh, okay. Well. That's why you guys said do Scarlet Witch to the right, yeah? Oh my gosh. We won mid. Very heavily won mid, but we lost the war. Is Scarlet Witch really needed here? If probably not necessary. The Scarlet Witch is more of like a consistency driver. So if you're running this is from like the Sarah control kind of style build. If you're running it, there's a couple of ways to do it, and I'm thinking about doing like an in-depth like Sarah control build or video that focuses on like the different alternatives. So without the Scarlet Witch, you could try and do something like, I'd say you don't really replace it with another 2 cost. Because you already have Sentinel, you have Mysterio, you already have Lizard. So I don't think you would add in another one. I think instead you go with like a counter card like Cosmo to try to give you an advantage in being able to maybe grab initiative early and block that strong on reveal. Like the double powered Absorbing Man. Primo, you said hello, love the stream. How are you? I just finished full 3, now what? Or you just completed series 3. Now what? So now you start playing the game. So after series 3, a lot of it is just, it's going to be slow as far as card acquisition. So finding a deck that you enjoy playing and just like I don't know, playing through and experimenting with it. But your rate of card acquisition is going to slow pretty greatly. Now you face Shuri. Now you sometimes face Shuri. I'm sure you probably already have some. Speaking of Scarlet Witch, Reality Stone should change the location to Titan, just for lore reasonings, Atlas. My favorite part was when the opponent played Absorbing Man and said it's absorbent time. Yep, he did run. It was a nasty Absorbing Man for sure. Had we changed that location, I think we maybe could have had the win. Unfortunately, we didn't. Do pool drops always happen towards the end of the month? They usually happen towards the beginning of the month. So whenever the first balance patch comes through, I think they usually happen with that month's like patch and balance changes. Should I buy Galactus or Thanos in terms of having fun and being free to play? I think Thanos is a bit more flexible. You get a lot of play around potential with Thanos. With Galactus, it's a very linear play line. So if you don't particularly like that, like that one play line, there's not a lot else you could do. So you either build Galactus where you're ramping into a Doc Ock to pull their cards and then trying to Galactus that last lane, or leaning into like a Shuri Nimrod last turn style build. With Thanos, at least you can change it up. You can do the Thanos. You can do like movement. You can do destroy. You have more flexibility with it than with Galactus. But that's being said by someone that doesn't really enjoy playing Galactus. They hit Mr. Negative on 3. Why are we seeing Mr. Negative decks now? Dominant decks are good. We need decks like those. Donations make you feel good. I mean, you need strong decks in game, but dominant ones become a little bit too prevalent. So like Thanos was in like I think 30% of higher ranked games, or some kind of absurd number compared to all of the other cards that are out there. And then Not So Wavy. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Yeah, I think that I might like Galactus, but I don't know. So I ran it without Null and without Shuri, and I leaned more towards a build for it that didn't lean all the way in on Galactus. So it had Professor X for a lockdown. It had the goblins to clog their lanes. A couple of ways to try to enable Galactus, of course, but if you didn't hit it, it didn't feel like it was a absolute retreat either. But that has been a couple of months ago, so I'm sure that the meta has changed slightly since then. So we're going to buff up our Thor with Mjolnir. We can buff up Angela. I think we just slow play this one. I guess if we draw Magneto, then we just do Magneto and Killmonger on the last turn and we forego Mysterio. That Psylocke variant? Yep. I do like this Psylocke variant. I don't think I own a Psylocke variant. I think I just have the base model. Yeah, we're going against another Mr. Negative. I'm not sure what's going on with the game. We've seen a lot of Cerebros, a lot of Mr. Negatives. Just kind of odd for what we normally play against. The Ronin Psylocke? I'm glad you're doing well. They played a Typhoid Mary that was created by Coulson, and then Ironheart gets yanked over as well. We do top deck into Magneto. How heavily do you think we need to go over there? I guess if we use Magneto, we could potentially pull their Typhoid Mary out. We do that. We do the Mysterio across the board. Be there and there. And then we do Mjolnir and then Killmonger. That doesn't give us much power in the left lane. So it puts it pretty heavily on mid and right lane. So if they use an Iron Man, I think we're in trouble. That may not be the best placement, but can you try and win with only 6 drops? That would be wild. I don't know how we would just have to hope for like Elysium or the opponent to play a wave or Sakaar, Grand Central. Like we could try it one day, I'm sure, as like a challenge. The deck you mean is the one from your channel from a month ago, I think? Yeah, the Galactus one. I thought it was a couple months. It may have been only a month. My perception of, since I do daily videos, my perception of time is skewed. Do you want Snap to have like more rare splits? So other than like the black and white and the gold, is that what you're talking about? Ooh, do we lose mid? Oh wow, it's a nasty play. And so if you mean more like, I think having more splits would be fun. But if they're not, So had we played the real Mysterio mid, wait, do we tie mid and we just lose left too heavily? Had we played the real Mysterio in mid, oof, that's tough. Real Mysterio mid, we would have won. If your opponent spontaneously combusts, maybe they hit a cell phone carrier outage. I agree about the border effects. I can't wait. Yeah, being able to choose your border, I can't wait for that to happen either. They said it's finally coming. Yeah, I know that they finally mentioned it, and it's something that they just hadn't really said for a while. But I'm glad. I think it's big because I like any black and white. I usually stop it at gray, or any gold. I stop at legendary, and I just can't split that. I can't split that variant anymore. Long stream. It's kind of a shorter stream because we had to start so late because of courtesy of the Kitty Pride. Courtesy of the Kitty Pride disconnect fiasco. Optimal playline is to rope every turn and hope your opponent has a medical emergency. I mean, sometimes in this game that's not necessarily realistic, but in Hearthstone, I mean, not necessarily realistic either, but I had a game that lasted like 50 minutes because the opponent was roping every single game. That was the most I loaded into a game, it had like 20 minutes, thought I had plenty of time, and then they roped for almost an hour. It was so infuriating. I was just ready. By the end of it, I was just so ready to go that I know I wasn't playing optimally. I wonder what the mythic variants will be. Me too. I'm really curious because I want to, as long as Conquest mode is free, I plan on playing an awful lot of Conquest once it's released. I think we're going to tempo drop Enchantress. They probably have Hawk somewhere in their deck, especially with Vibranium Mines though. But we have Shang-Chi to try to counter that one. I do leave if people waste my time, especially post Infinite. Yeah, it's not always worth it post Infinite. Armor Druid combo into rope every turn. Yeah, yep. When they're intentionally trying to rope, it can be so infuriating too. How do you best use Maw? I saw him in your Electro ramp, but I can't work him out. So Maw most of the time is just that early power drop, and so I usually use Maw in that particular list. I usually use Maw on like turn 1 if we don't have Sunspot, and if we know that the location is at least decent. So if we know we're going to have the ability to go wide with like a Dr. Doom, maybe an Odin as well. And some versions use Claw to help support it like even further if needed. He's definitely not my priority drop if I have Sunspot and I'm planning on soaking. But he does, yeah. Since you can go wide with your Doombots and reach extra power there, he's pretty easy to utilize. We have initiative, so we can't block the Hawk. Can't stop the Hawk either. They have a demon that's in their hand. They have a whole lot of free 0 or 1 cost cards. We probably should have fought to not have initiative going to this turn. Then we could have either used Shang-Chi, we could have used Killmonger. But as it is right now, if we do this and we don't play over there, their Hawk's not that big. It would come down to a point differential. But we don't really want to play over into Vibranium Mines. $15 for mystery variant seemed like a bad deal to me. Is that the one currently for today? I didn't get the mystery variant today. Since it wasn't gold, I was much less inclined to buy it. The O was not intended, but it's funny. Oh, when Conquest comes out, I might rope my way to victory. I mean, even if you rope in Conquest, it's only, oh, well, it looks like we could have played over there and maybe had enough power to overcome the tiebreaker. Oof. I think it's $10 US or 10 US dollars. Yeah, we didn't buy it. If it was gold, I'm much more inclined to use the gold that I've bought, but $10 for a mystery variant and then a handful, so like 100 gold. So $10 is 700 gold. If you're doing the Token Tuesday, $10 is going to get you 600 to 700 collector's tokens. And so you're not getting the mystery variant, but you can also do like the bundles where you get a little bit more gold for the value. So I don't think it's worth it. Yeah. I think it's not as insulting as as last week's. I think it was Monday's bundle. That was like $10 and you got like, it felt like you got 100 credits. I didn't buy it, but it was really bad value. Yeah, if it was a 1200 gold variant, yeah, I think the value is definitely there then. Or I think there would have to be specifications, like not being able to be a pixel. I think would be one. Like it would feel so bad to spend $10 and get the pixel one. Pixel Kang is so amazing. Why buy gold and choose your variant when you can pay to get scammed? I mean, Atlas, you're not wrong. I don't know. I think the bundles can, but it's not guaranteed. So you might pull a 700 cost one. You got Dan Hip's Wolfsbane on the bundle? That's huge. What win rate did you end up with the deck you were using yesterday? 65 if I remember correctly. Let me pull it up. I have my stats that I can look. I think it was 65 over 70 games. Ooh, we've been doing awful. With this list, we're negative 11 cubes so far with our regular Sarah list. Our Morph list, we were negative 5. Dino Hawk, we were positive 4. The Dino Hawk one, we were good. The Sarah Hawk, we were positive 13, which was big. We went 5 and 1 with that version, which is a slightly modified, but it leans more towards the Hawk. Attuma Control, we went an even 50-50. With the Doom Kitty deck, we had 70 total games played, 64.3% win rate, a total of 90 cubes that were gained over the 70 games. And so it was very solid, very solid list for us. And then Brendan Walker, you said, Mr. TLSG, hope you're having a good Thursday. I am having a good Thursday. Hopefully you're having a good day as well, Brendan. Marvel Stat cooking up some weird bundles. They are. Did it do better with Scorpion or Kitty? I didn't do nearly as big of a sample size with Scorpion. But I went 9 games, 14 games. 14 games with the Scorpion version. I had 77% win rate, a total of 15 cubes. I think the Kitty Pride version was more flexible. But I think the other one is pretty viable as well. It's just not as big of a sample size, so I can't say for sure if it performed better or not. Yesterday deck? Let's pull it up. That'd be nice if I had that command. If I had the yesterday's deck command going. Binks's Dino deck seems to be taking over. I see it cropped up and posted everywhere. And so yesterday's deck was this one. I can't believe I watched almost this whole stream. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you stuck with us. Cool. Hopefully you're having a good day. Feeling the endorphins hit when TLSG says an accomplishment you had is huge. I mean, and then Primo. Yeah. So I just shared the link to yesterday's deck. Now, the one that I ran for the 70 games, instead of Scorpion, it had Kitty Pride, which we can't do Kitty Pride right now. But otherwise, I think it's very consistent, just all over. It does look a bit weird. I was very skeptical whenever I saw it, but then it just continued to work well. So I think it's much more in line with a ramp deck versus the death wave. And so the death wave is just to get extra value whenever you throw a wave onto the board, or wave whenever you play wave. So we go out of our way a lot of times to run She-Hulk, so you can do wave into She-Hulk plus something else. And then I have it just as Kitty. And so death is another one. If you kill 2 cards, then you can do wave plus death. And then on that following turn, you can do death plus something else. And then cool, you said, do you get money from me watching the stream as a member? Because I get no ads? No. I mean, just from the subscription. Cool. Which is fine. It's not necessarily about the money. I enjoy that you're enjoying the stream, and just being here to enjoy it, I think is the most that I could ask. So we don't get any ad revenue from the members who are here though, which is fine. It's okay. When your accomplishment is losing weight and Streamer Man calls you huge, it was a poor choice of words, Atlas. That happened one time, and I apologized. And I even gifted him a sub after. Yeah, we have the Pixel Hawk. Cool, you said I hope he gets that? Get what? Yeah, and ad revenue is really minimal. Unless you just have a really consistent viewer base. And so I know that Jeff had a pretty hefty deal this month from Prime to run, I think it was 3 minutes of ads per hour. It was pretty sizable because he has a really large audience. And so at that point it starts kind of offsetting each other. But for the most part, most of the revenue comes from like bits, donations, and then subs. And I think for me, a huge Kino, and I did your snap, Kino, right? I just switched it back over to this view, but not yet though. Yeah, no, so we still do. So even though I'm not a partner, affiliates can get sub revenue. They get ad revenue. I think they get a smaller cut of bits. Maybe I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot from the bits, but as a affiliate, I still get those. I still get the sub revenue and some slight ad revenue. But it's usually like a drop in the bucket compared to subs. So it pulled their Valkyrie, which is not great for them. That loses one of their surprise big last turn. Is this the Sarah era? Sarah's one of those decks. And the reason I have so many built right now, it's not just because I enjoyed Sarah, but it's not just that I enjoy Sarah. It's I'm thinking of doing an in-depth look at the Sarah archetype, so that I can kind of weigh the pros and cons of each one. And Hair Trigger, you said I don't mind ads so much, but when they run for 3 minutes as the stream continues, it's weird. Yeah, the 3-minute segments can get lengthy. And so I think I don't know. I don't know if you split it up in between 30-minute segments and you just do a minute and a half each. I don't know. I don't know the best way to do that, but I try and keep it as minimal as I can. And you said I like streams where the chat is slow, way better. Like this stream, you get to talk. Yep, you get to talk and interact. I think there's strengths to both, and there's cool things that both offer, but this is a Patriot deck. If they do Ultron, that fills up here. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. No, it's 12. It's 12 power here. I don't think we beat that. And then 8 more here would be 16 more here. I think we lose this match if they happen to have the Ultron. But we'll watch it. Nothing like a Germa stream where your comment just vanishes. Yeah, there's some times where if it's a really big stream and it's really hard to have an interaction. So the response is oh wow. We gave them Collapse Mine, which is huge. I guess they would have gotten it anyway with the Squirrel Girl, but just unfortunate. Yeah, there's a lot of Sarah versions. It's one of those that's always decently viable. It's never necessarily where it feels like it's broken, but it always kind of holds its own. And so it adapts to the meta pretty well. It has a lot of different tech choices and ways that you can build it depending on what you're seeing. And so I do think Sarah is one of those that's prevalent just about all the time. It's not super exciting to play though.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
And then Big Math, thank you so much for the Prime sub. That brings us up to 5 for the day. Huge support coming from you guys. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. And then you said, hey man, it's Matthew. I was on the YouTube streams. Honestly, I just realized you swapped over to Twitch. I was wondering why you weren't streaming anymore. Should communicate it more. So I try and I guess if you still watch the videos on YouTube, I was trying to think of the best way to word it. If you still watch the videos on YouTube, do you skip through the like the deck explanation point or the portion? I try to plug it in the videos. But cool. You said you're headed out. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being here and hanging out with me for a while. They discarded Blade. Just got Beast. Any good decks without Hawk? Beast is one of those that he's been kind of just okay for a while. I do think there's a point where Beast balance may not even necessarily need Hawk. But I think, yeah, Bishop and those low curve ones are generally good. When TLSG gets big, but then his chat gets so large he can't read our messages, that's going to be such a weird... well, that might not necessarily happen, but if it does, that'll be such a weird transition, because a lot of I enjoy interacting with the chat as much as possible, and so if I'm not able to do that, I don't know how that looks. We have to, I guess, just focus on the game. I think we lose mid. Do we still put Sarah there? Yeah. It's going to happen. I can feel it already. You are huge. I mean, we did gain quite a bit of weight since we started creating content. But no, I know what you mean. The channel and the streams are already so much bigger than what I ever expected. Like I can't be. Yeah, I can't. I'm not. If we stay exactly where we're at, like I'm happy. Like we don't have to continue growing more. Like it's not like it's. I'm already blown away with the size of the stream. Like when I created my channel, I didn't think we'd get over like 1,000, and so like don't take it as me being like unhumble or ungrateful for the size of what we are. Like if we don't grow anymore, like we're still very, very fortunate to have the audience that we have, or that I have. And then you said, don't let chat bully you, TLSG. You're just the right size. Those walks are doing great. I mean, we get our steps in where we can. Scarlet Witch could, yeah, you're right. Scarlet Witch could help, I guess. I was really hoping that it hurts them more than it hurts us, type of thing. You guys are getting paid? You shower us with wholesome content. We try. We do what we can. And so we do get the 4 cubes. And so like with Sarah decks, you sometimes sneak wins away and it just doesn't feel like huge. Like you can win games and sneak them away, but it just, I don't know. A Sarah tech deck is always one that's sneaky strong. It's never so strong that it feels like it becomes a bad sentiment to other players, but it just can a lot of times find ways to win. And then Big Math, you said, can you remind me what is your main job? I heard it was data science. So it's data analytics. So like they're very similar. I think data analytics does a lot more on like the reporting side and like generating the reports that are requested. I think data science is a lot more kind kind of like programming and like deeper into the analysis, and maybe not the analysis portion, but so for me, I use a lot of like databases and like coding languages to pull different queries from different systems, and then I format it and filter it in a way that it's able to be reviewed quickly and easily by our leaders. It's a fancy way of saying I look at numbers pretty much all day, every day. But it fits right up my like interest alley. My Kitty Pride meme got 100 upvotes. Atlas, what did you do? You're on Reddit, right? Wait, what did we? Oh, Sicard pulled their Hobgoblin. Okay. Let me figure out my play before we look at what you posted. Let's do Lizard to the left. We'll do a Sentinel to the right. So you said it got 100 upvotes? Where's it at? Maybe under Rising? Why can't I find it? I can't find it, Atlas. Will you share the link with me? For whatever reason, I can't find your upvoted one. It's in the Marvel Snap Reddit, right? It's so fun to play any deck you want post infinite, and not stress about cubes. Yeah, and so even for me, when I'm climbing throughout the season, like a lot of what I do is like that experimentation and trying different decks. And so like even before I hit infinite, like I'm still brewing, and I don't necessarily stress real hard on like hitting infinite, because I figure by the end of the season it'll happen. They had the magic, so they extend the game. We could arrow. I don't know that that's, I mean, we could do that as well, but I don't know that that's perfect. Maybe we do that and hope. We're going to do that and hope. And then Atlas. Okay, that's a pretty solid one, Atlas. That's a pretty solid one. Your last pathetic card? Yeah. Yeah, and so I'm going to repost the link. So that's the one. That's the link to Atlas's meme. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh one. So I think it's a solid. It's a well made meme. That deserves the upvotes. Kunlun. Oh no, what are we doing? It's not our day. It's not our day. Oof, what are we doing? So if we do Swordmaster, let's do it in the reverse order. I don't think we win, but if we do it like this, that gives us 6, that gives us 10 extra power in mid, puts us up to 16, but their bishop is going to get too large. So it's not worth playing there. We'd have to play for right and left, and we can't win. Oh no. Without Kunlun, we may have been able to do it. We messed that up so bad. I've never hit infinite and never really cared to. The only thing I strive to do is finish the season pass. Yep, less stress. And the reason that I started playing was because like the game is fun. And so if you focus too much on rank, sometimes you lose that. And then Wob, thank you so much for returning for the second month. You said stuck at 88 out of 88 to 89. Good luck. If you hit just to 90, that's going to bump you those 5, and I think that should hopefully give you the momentum to finish off the rest of the climb. But good luck. Hopefully you have some luck coming into the next few days. Should have been Kang. Should have been Kang instead of Shuri. I don't know. I think the Shuri is I think the Shuri has a good flavor to it. Like the Shuri is real strong. Like Shuri right now is that card or that meta or that deck that's just unbeatable. And so I think Shuri fits it. took me a while to realize without Season Pass and Infinite, you were getting 0 card backs. It's a big draw. Oh, yeah. It's a big draw for me. And I think that's a good reason to strive for it. But some people put a little bit too much emphasis on it and like just don't enjoy the game at all if they don't hit Infinite. And I think at that point you're like, so it's like one of those grind games where at a certain point you take a step back and you have to ask yourself, like, am I even enjoying this? Like, why am I playing? Which is what I had to do with League of Legends. Like, it became a grind, and I realized that there were so few moments of like feel good compared to all of the feel bad about like losing here or doing this. And so it's one of those that eventually we came to the conclusion that we need to we need to switch over to some other game. So we will be able to destroy the Iron Fist and Human Torch with the Killmonger. Now this could be the movement deck that runs a leech. I know one of those has been floating around, which is terrifying. Let's go ahead and do Hawk into the right lane to try to swing that location. And then depending on what feel we get, we might do Killmonger on turn 5 instead of Sarah. Speaking of Kang, did you see the drama around... I did. Around Majors? I did. Which is unfortunate. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully he can come back from that. So the cloak is also kind of in line with the movement deck. So I don't remember the name. It was like Gunny that ran this in some tournament recently and was moderately successful. I think he won the tournament with it. I tried running this and just couldn't like wrap my head around all of the different play lines we needed to do. So if they do use a leech, let's go with the Sentinel and Killmonger this turn. That way we take out these two big powerful resources. What's the trouble? He got into some. It is the leech version. Hoagland said it's a good move deck because it runs Shang-Chi and Leech. I didn't think the one that he ran in the tournament ran Shang-Chi. I thought it just ran the Leech. And so like sometimes it works, but it only works when it's that surprise element, I feel. Gunny had some next level plays in that tournament. Yeah. So it's Gunny, right? So I don't doubt that the list is solid or that he had some really good plays. It's just hard to play this one consistently. Wait. Oh, the Cosmic. Gotcha. And so like I ran this in, it was a Snap Battle Arena or a Snap Clash, like an 8-man tournament. And by the end of just the one battle mode round, I was so tired of all the calculating that I switched decks. I just couldn't run it anymore because it was that hard to function consistently with all of the different plays that you have to try to think through. And so by anticipating the Leech, we were able to take out their big 1-cost cards before it happens. I do arrow to the right. I was thinking maybe they Heimdall. If they Heimdalled, we'd arrow to the right. We'd win this one, but I think we'd win right and probably left. But that's if they did Heimdall. Some of them may not necessarily go that line. But with them leaning so heavily on that Leech play, and this is why I don't necessarily have a problem with Leech, the card itself, is that if it's just played on 5, it's such a low tempo drop that you have to have something else to really enable it. So his ability feels bad, but a lot of times by that point in the game, you can find a way to win otherwise. Where he felt bad was being enabled so consistently with the Lockjaw, with rotation, with Thanos Stones. And so I don't necessarily have an issue with the card just by itself. Am I the only one worried that in a year from now we'll have so many BS locations like Krakoa that the game will be too annoying to play? I think maybe eventually they go into a state of like, kind of like, it's like a rotation of cards where one goes into like a wild set maybe, And maybe they do the same thing with locations, where eventually they retire Ego and Krakoa, and they just use like whatever came out in the last like 3-6 months plus standard. I could see them eventually doing that. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap up the stream. Let's see who else is live to be able to raid over into. We do have Dara. Do we want to do Binks again? Last time he did an early one, we raided over into Binks. Very good feel good vibes coming from him a lot of the time. Wait, and curse you? Why? Because my daughter's home. I was supposed to pick her up, but I had my wife went and picked her up instead. Am I the only one worried that in a year Krakoa was playing months ago? Yeah. But yeah, let's raid you guys over into Binks, and we're gonna wrap up the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. We will be live again tomorrow with some other deck that we cook up. Thank you guys for just always being here. I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. As always, this has been TLSG. We'll see you guys later. I always do that preemptively. We got 2 seconds left. We'll see you guys later.